guess.
We're dumb.
Live in conjunction with Lock TV and Raw Live Studios. It's the Dames Marvs Show. With Frankie J. And here's your host, Dames Marvs.
Mara, I wanna be there when you are. Okay. No copyright, Frankie. At the beginning, I did it myself.
Copyright.
I did it myself. I was gonna play that, but copyright.
I knew you had
don't own it. All right, so welcome back to the Dames Marvs Show. I got Frankie J. It's gonna be opposite for me, but he's right there. He had a mental day off yesterday, so I haven't spoken to him until today. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Needed a mental health day.
He's good.
They work.
I'm beyond excited about today's guest, which we'll get to in just a moment. But for those of you tuning in, I see there's 8 of you so far. Give us a like. Come on, like it. Why don't you push this out into the algorithms? We need more people to view this because it's going to be spectacular. We got me, we got Frankie J, and we got, well, I'll tell you in just a minute who we got. But you probably know because you've seen the advertisements. Frankie, this is a show that's the wildest corner of the internet. Did you know that? We talk shit. We crack jokes.
Yeah, for sure.
We bring on guests from time to time. Actually, we always have guests. So no particular agenda except having fun. So everybody have fun. Make sure that you have fun. We'll talk some history stuff. There's no script, no filters, just honest conversation, laughs, chaos, the whole thing. Grab a seat, kick back, just enjoy yourselves. This is the place where anything goes and everything is worth talking about. So let's get into it. Frankie, let's talk about some birthdays today.
Okay.
You know who I wanted to bring up first?
You're going to tell me.
How about some Joan Baez, the singer? She's 84 today.
What's her one-hit wonder?
One-hit wonder? Joan Baez?
I'm just kidding.
Fairly offensive. That's fairly
She's
offensive.
beautiful. I like her.
She is beautiful. 84.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Man, something is wrong with me.
This one might be she's more closer to your age. This is do you know who that is?
I know her face.
That's Kate Middleton. She's royalty.
Okay. I like her left eyebrow.
She's yeah, that's a nice one. I like her right ear. Now that we're talking about it, now that we're into it.
Her nose is nice too.
43.
She's young.
And now we got the crook. Or he wasn't a crook.
I don't resign, now I resign.
Richard Nixon's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
He passed away. He was born in 1913, but he passed away,
Jeez.
I think it was 1994. But January 9th was his birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Crook. And then we got, you know who this is?
That's Gilligan.
No. I mean, well, that is Gilligan. But do you know what his real name is?
No.
It's Bob Denver. This is Bob Denver.
Of course it's Bob Denver.
He was born in 1935. Passed away in 2005. Of course, most known as his role on Gilligan's Island. He played Gilligan.
I love Gilligan's Island.
What a weird show. Whose idea was that? Like, just we could have an entire episode where we just talk about
the show was confusing because if you have a mad scientist genius, why can't they build a boat and get the hell off the island?
Well, because
they could talk through coconuts.
Gilligan foiled everything all the time.
Okay, well.
Do you know who this is?
No.
That is Jimmy Page.
Oh, well, he's really old.
He's 82, as a matter of fact.
Still jamming.
Still jamming. Cramming and jamming. I know you know who this is.
Oh, of course. Played in Oz. The
original. It's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, played in Oz, one of the original HBO series.
He is 71 years old today. Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday.
And then I think one more I got for you.
Okay. Somebody I know.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch movies, but I don't remember
That's
names.
Dave Matthews.
Okay, well, I wasn't a huge Dave Matthews fan.
He's related to you.
I've seen him. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that have my last name.
He's related to you, so I figured you would know. Dave Matthews is 58 years old today. So happy birthday to those folks.
I feel bad now because I like Dave Matthews. I've been to a couple of his shows and had a fantastic time. I'm just not one that follows him like I would Tom Petty.
Well, to be fair,
Do you
I'm
get
putting you on. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, which I often do. Do you know what state this is?
Wisconsin?
It is not Wisconsin. Anyone in the comments know what state this is?
Why do you do this?
Feel free to take a shot.
Can't Google it.
What state is this? How do you Google that?
You'd have to do a reverse.
I suppose you just
image
pull up a
search.
map and go, okay, that's what it is, right?
Oklahoma?
Not Oklahoma. Remember, Oklahoma's got it's the.
Yeah, I don't
dude,
know.
I know one of these days I'm going to show Oklahoma and you're not going to know it, and I'm going to be like,
Probably not.
every time you
Looks
guess
like
Oklahoma,
it looks like a Midwestern state.
A Midwestern state? All right, we'll go with that. It's not, but we'll go with
Okay, whatever.
that. You know what? We'll table it for now
You have to.
because I like to give everybody an opportunity. So we'll come back to this. Not Wisconsin, guys, and it is not Oklahoma. You got 48 guesses left. All right. Do you know who this is?
I do.
You do? Oh, well, that's awesome. This, of course, is Jack, as we know.
Jack
But
O'Lantern.
this is interesting because this is probably the last thing that he would want me to bring up in regards to who our guest is. This is, of course, the famous meme of the dancing pumpkin man. God, I should know what year this was. I want to say 2008, 7?
19. I think it was 19.
No, well, I think what I showed you, 4?
20.
2004? 5, 6, 7.
18.
All right, yeah. Anyway, I
17.
don't want to give away his identity, but
Well, I mean, James, you're a horrible person.
I kind of, yeah. We'll do that. And now let's talk about our guest. How about that? We got, guys. I don't even know where to start with this cat. He's a musician.
I like musicians.
He's a musician. He's Frederick Julius. We'll get an explanation on that. He is an improv comic from Second City, Chicago. He is part of the mixtape. He's owner and proprietor of Sick Picnic Media. He is the Dancing Pumpkin Man. He is.
But he's written books too, and I respect.
He's written children's novels.
I love it because I wrote a
novels.
book.
Children
I
don't
wrote a
read
book.
novels.
I know how hard it is, and that's
Children's
impressive.
books. All right, and he's got a new philosophy that has just tickled my nuts. So I want to talk to him, and go ahead and bring him up, Frankie. Without further ado, you guys, this is Matt Geiler.
Uh-oh.
I know the echo's back. It comes and goes.
Wow.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing a lot better since you brought me on by saying that I tickle your nuts.
Jeez.
I can't.
That's probably the best. That's probably the best way I've been brought on to anything. This guy tickles my nuts. I love it.
Can I give you a message from my brother?
I'm a nut tickler. Yes. What does Dane have to say?
I told him that I was going to be interviewing him today.
Yeah.
And he said, "Would you tell him Dane misses you and your toxic masculinity?"
That has to be a joke because I've spent my life trying to avoid not just toxic masculinity, but almost all masculinity.
And then he further says, He further says, can well, let's just ask him. We got it here. We got an echo really bad
Oh,
right now. That wasn't there when we were talking to you beforehand. But
is it on my end?
yeah.
Yeah.
He goes,
you have
I for
headphones?
sure
Or
want to get
earbuds
his
or
reaction
something?
when I tell him that. So there you go, Dane.
I don't want there to be an echo for you guys the entire time.
Echo. I wonder why it wasn't happening in pre-production. But
I'm not sure, but it's definitely there now.
yeah. Yes.
What if I take my microphone off and just use the camera audio?
We can try that.
See if this fixes it.
Hello.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
echo in there.
Check. How about that?
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds still pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no
great.
echoes is great. It sounds fantastic. Let's move on with the show, baby.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me.
A lot to talk about. First of all, the thing I want to start with, we'll get to like how we met and all the cheesy stuff. But you got this new, the part that tickles my nuts. Okay, is this new like philosophy? I'm not going to say it's new to you, or that it's even new as a concept, but it's something that's you've recently started doing, and that's talking about. I don't even want to put my spin on it. It's about not limiting yourself as an artist. Can you tell me? I mean, I have multiple questions, but kind of give me the gist of this new philosophy that you're peddling.
Yes, and I'm peddling it. You know what I mean? I'm internet peddling it. You're right. It's nothing really new or revolutionary, but it's something that I have kind of practiced and fervently believe in. So I'm doing a bunch of like short form verticals, just kind of spreading the idea of embracing nonconformity for artists and creatives. The reason that I kind of was starting the new year off with some of that content is, you know, I've been an artist since I was a kid. I've been working in the arts and creative stuff, you know, professionally since I was a teenager. And I just have always, to one degree or another, I always encounter a pressure to conform in the sense that, you know, like as an actor, you know, if you want to get considered for certain projects, you know, there's certain hoops you have to jump through. As a musician, there's always like the popular zeitgeist of like, hey, this is what's selling right now. And if you're not that, that can be kind of a weird headspace to be in as an artist, because it's like, I'm doing the thing, I'm expressing myself, I'm doing the work and writing the music, but you know, the popular definitions of like what success is don't seem to be adding up. So I don't know, I've needed to hear it, and sometimes I haven't heard it. So I was like, maybe it'd be a cool thing to just send a message out if people need to hear some reassurance that, yo, you know, how you're wired is okay. Your creativity doesn't need to conform to somebody else's template or idea of what a thing should be. The important thing is that you just trust your gut and make what you need to make, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of always the side of the fence that I have come down on anyway. So I don't know. The idea behind it was just to send out some encouragement, you know?
I don't want to act like I'm unique, but when I saw that very first message,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And I know that everybody that has seen that since has been like, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm at least as the artists, the people that are the conformers that are the ones wanting you to conform are probably like, oh, he's so wrong. But
Right.
anyone that's got the creative like genome would be like, absolutely. And I'll tell you, the hardest one for me was and this is how I met Matthew Blevins. Is I stepped into the comedy clubs thinking that's the next thing I'm going to do,
Right.
and ultimately I did it once. I had a blast, but the reason I walked away from it is because I was doing like serious music, and it's like, how do you reconcile serious music career with like stand-up comedy? Like one of them is not going to get taken seriously, or the two don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and and there's a lot like, even saying it now, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't work, but you can't. I love the message, dude. I really do. And it just got my gears going, because I do film reviews. We do a sports show here. We're
Yeah.
doing this now, like variety, whatever. And I just thought, man, what a perfect guest to have anyway. But this new message that you're pushing, and I'm saying pushing because I've seen 3 or 4 different videos now
Yeah.
with this message, and I'm sharing them every time, man. I just
Oh, I appreciate it. But I also think that what you just said kind of made me think of this. It is important that I think it's important that you say it, but then for me, I think in the first video, I said something about it is a mantra kind of that I repeat to myself, is like, sometimes I mumble it out loud if I get in a really bad way, hey, take a breath, Matt, your creativity does not need to conform. It's just you do you, relax and keep going. And I think there are stretches where like I need to repeat that to myself just to like finish the thing, or get the thing out there. So it is worth repeating. I think that's why I'm kind of making like multiple iterations of it, just to see like what forms of it take hold. But then the other thing about what you just said, which is how to like reconcile, that's a good example, reconciling like stand-up comedy with like serious musician. uh on the surface, yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I think when you examine that more, and I'm speaking for myself, feel free to push back on this, but my feeling has been for a long time, we live in a culture where it's a capitalist culture, so everything to one degree or another gets commoditized, some way more than others, but generally speaking, even the arts, so let's say comedy and music, they're commodities, they're saleable, consumable commodities. And because things are set up that way, necessarily there's this layer of market functioning that kind of has to occur so that people can make sense of it and make a decision. And through that lens, then that is kind of a tough sell, because it's like, wait a second, I don't understand this. This guy is a comedian, but then he also is releasing these albums of, sorrowful harmonic tunes, like that doesn't really add up. So what it forces for me, and I'm talking about me, it forces a decision. And the decision you either compartmentalize these creative parts of yourself. And so when you're doing the music thing, you're just the musician. When you're doing the comedy thing, you're just the comedian, et cetera, et cetera. You can do that. That's tough though. And it also is a little bit, to me, disingenuous and maybe dishonest, because you're having to like partition off a self, underneath all of those avenues of creative expression is Dame's Marvs or Matt Geiler or whoever. It's you doing it. And the older I've gotten, the more exhausting it is to just be like shifting modes. So finally you get to a point where it's like, you know what? It's not my job past a certain point to make sense of me for everybody else.
Yeah,
it's up to me to put my stuff out into the world do what I can, obviously, but then past a certain point, the people who dig it are gonna dig it anyway. The people who it's not for will move on. But there's a lot of self-preservation in it because I don't want to get to 81 years old or whatever and have not made the stuff that I wanted to make because of that paralysis that can kind of set in. Sorry, that was a long explanation.
You're spot on, and I feel like a coward now because that's and it's not your fault. Like, you didn't do this. Like,
You coward. Dames, you've always been such a little baby and a coward.
And I'm choosing to tell you this because, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. Like, I walked away from the comedy thing because I was like, well, I'll just capture everyone else doing it because that's more in line with what I'm doing, like, creatively with music, where
Oh, sure.
when I go in to do music, I kid around and I goof around, but the music is very serious. And I don't know how to be funny and keep that seriousness, and then, like, when I'm doing comedy, still have. So yeah, you're right. I didn't want to be disingenuous by being two different people. Like, whatever stage I'm on, I'm either funny or I'm serious, and I just couldn't find any balance there. So I really love the message. I needed the message. I'm gonna keep pushing the message. Thank you for explaining the message. And here's the thing, Matt. I imagined when I saw the first clip that I know that you have clients for which you do a lot of different various, like, animated things, and that it's not always like what exactly you want to do, because if they're your client, you kind of have to do what the client wants to do. And then I imagine you being one of the more ambitious people in music. I mean, this was what, like, your sixth album?
Seventh, but
okay. And so it's like,
no.
I know that this is a priority for you,
Right,
over what your client wants, but your client's the one paying you, and you're usually paying to do this.
Right.
So I was like, did he get to a point where he just snapped because of all the different expectations, and he's found this new thing? But I think you explained it really well, and it actually makes me even more happy and proud of you that you did it because you think other people need to hear it.
Yeah,
So,
it was that was good. I mean, I think it's just kind of not a shot in the dark, but I'm a creative guy, and I realizing how often I need to, like, self-encourage, or how good it feels when somebody steps in and is like, way to go. I see you doing your stuff and making it kind of regardless of the consequences. My assumption was just like, oh, there's probably, maybe some other people out here who might benefit from that in some way.
Frankie, have you ever felt like somebody's trying to stifle your different ways that you want to be creative?
Okay, so I'm 47 years old. My whole life, yes.
So this resonates with you as well.
I mean, shit. I mean, look at, if you want me to give you a emotionally honest answer, as you would call it, I have been tortured, judged, chastised, whatever words you want to use to describe, put out of the circle, because I would either be truthful or see things that could be done in an easier way, more efficient way to make things easier for everybody around me. This is going back into when I was in restaurants or whatever job I might have done. I always found a way and saw a more creative way to make it more efficient so that us as employees could all be happier. And it was always resisted. People, oh, he's trying to be the boss, he's trying to take over, and this and that and the other thing. When in fact, I would say clearly, I'm just trying to make this easier for all of us so that we can kick back in the break room longer with our feet up. If the job gets done the way it's supposed to, half the time, what's the problem? And I even was all about doing 4-day work weeks, do 4 10-hour days instead of 5 8-hour days. Why? Because most people would come to work an hour early, hang out, smoke cigarettes in the parking lot, and then they'd hang out an hour after the job was done and do the same shit. And I was like, well, we're already here 10 hours a day. Make it 4. We get 3 days off. I was the only one that voted for that on that contract vote. So I get it, yes. That's the answer.
All right. Well,
Do you feel me?
I feel you.
Feel you.
Am I
I
wrong?
feel like there's a lot of anger pent up.
No,
there.
it's not anger. It's just years of knowing that I have talent in ways that might not be musical. I mean, I did write a book, haven't published it yet. It's going to take me some time. I have created sort of a brand in Raw Live and Raw Live Productions and studios and all that stuff. But it takes work. It's a lot of
Yeah.
time. It's a lot of mental investment. And when you have people around that want to help you, and they're like, this is talking past tense, okay? That want to be a part of it. They want to be part of it, but they don't want to be part of it. They don't want to do
Right.
any of the back check work where editing or hanging out, getting things set up, money, spending
Sure.
money. So yeah, I've felt this resistance my whole life, but I think as time goes on, like Matt had said, you get to a point where you're just going to do it the way you want to do it, and whoever takes it, and who doesn't, whatever. It's a free world, man. You don't have to like everything. You know, I don't need everybody to like me or like my product. If they
Right.
like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
For sure.
Yeah, Frankie, you can't publish a book while you're doing the Dames Marv show. You just can't.
Why not? Oh, cool. I want royalties.
Let's go ahead and shoot the whole philosophy right in the face. Unalive it.
I like how you just turned into like a total overlord.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've to be fair and clear, I've never not been an overlord.
What?
Never
Really?
not
Yeah.
been an overlord.
I mean, I
All
can.
right,
Oh,
so there's
okay.
a lot to talk about here, but I want to talk about some of the things that we haven't really talked about before.
Okay.
And I know that I want to say you're the owner, CEO of Sick Picnic Media, which is a company that you started with your wife.
Yeah.
Where am I on that? Is that good? Tell me about what that is and what you guys do.
That's that's absolutely correct. So Sick Picnic is here's how I describe it. Sick Picnic is a boutique 2D animation and music production studio that Jen and I incorporated in 2016. Probably the largest. There's two halves to it. There's like a client facing half where we do animation for clients and
years.
then there's like a studio side, and it kind of is also the umbrella for like studio projects that are more creative, personal stuff that we like to do. For the animation side, that kind of breaks down into two things. It's probably about 60% corporate clients where we do like, like our niche is maybe somebody needs like ethics and compliance videos or sales enablement content or something like that. And somebody in the organization has made the decision, hey, we don't want this to be the normal thing. We want it to be kind of funny and engaging so that our employees don't hate having to do it. And so then we kind of end up getting that call because we can do the animation, but then it's also informed by like, actual comedy and stuff like that. And then the other half is, so there's that corporate clientele. And then the other half seems to be, just like people who are in entertainment, they probably don't have budgets to do like a completely 100% finished broadcast ready pilot of something like an animated series or something that they're contemplating, but they do have a budget to do like a 7-minute short proof of concept or like a really robust pitch Bible that's really built out, like the world and the characters and all the episode synopses and all that kind of stuff, so that they can take those materials and pitch them to production companies, studios.
That's
So
really cool.
that's kind of the gist of what we do.
So that they can get a budget.
Well, you know what's
Right.
really cool about that is because there's people like me and Dames that are, just getting into the business of, podcasting or broadcast, whatever you want to call it. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at your website right now, and it's legit. Like, this is some really good stuff, and you're dabbling in all the different categories of what people like us or people in the huge market need and desire. It's awesome what you do. I'm just
Thanks,
checking
man.
out everything here, and it's a fun website, and it's just everything that you would want if you're looking to build something cool. I like it.
And that's cool I mean, I'm glad you like it. Kind of the idea behind the company generally was, you know, I'm not like I have entertainment, I have experience in the entertainment business, but as I go through my life and work with artists and creatives and people that, you know, want to make stuff, including myself, a hiccup that often presents itself is like, okay, but where do I start and how do I do this thing there's really no like path or a linear thing of like do 1, 2, 3 and then this will occur. You know, that's not how the business works. So one of the ideas was like, but I do know quite a bit about how certain aspects of the industry do work. And so like in animation, for example, a big hang up a lot of times is the expense of it. It's an expensive medium, animation. And it's usually the expenses because if you hire a mid to larger size studio, let's say, to execute your concept, there's a lot of overhead because you have animators for sure, but you also have storyboard artists, character designers. You know, you have specialists who do all this stuff, and that adds up pretty quickly. Not to mention that the art form itself is very time consuming to do. So it can stop a lot of ideas dead in their tracks when somebody comes back to you and is like, yeah, we can absolutely animate your pilot episode for your animated series idea. It's only going to cost you $380,000.
Right, right. And
Like,
they're
when I hear that, I'm like, I'll go find something else to do because it's going to take me, you know, a number of years of living on toast to even begin to think about doing that. So where Sick Picnic kind of comes in is like, yeah, but fortunately, if you don't have that kind of money, you can still get something pretty robust together for a budget that's not that, but that'll look really good. It'll have an impact, and you can take it around and try and get a production partner and try and, you know, open those doors. So that was kind of the thought behind it.
Final question on where did the business company name
Oh yeah, Sick Picnic.
How did that come about?
Okay, dude. So flash backward to the mid 80s. Okay. My brother Mike and I are growing up on a farm. There's not a lot to do. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, just trying to figure out how to make records in the bathroom, you know, using the tile of the shower as a natural reverb chamber. And we have no idea what we're doing, but what we do have is, in the parlance of the day, you know, if something was cool, oftentimes you'd be like, oh, that's sick. And then so Mike and I are just like running around like, oh, that's sick. Oh, that's sick. Oh, sick, dude. Oh, that's sick. And at some point, just in our personal dialogue, we started referring to things that we really dug like extra. If something was extra sick, then that became like a whole picnic of sick or a sick picnic. And so then, I don't know, I think we're like, you know, maybe like preteen or maybe like, you know, 12 or 13 or something like that when we started just like being like, oh, that's a sick picnic. And then later on when we started our music publishing through BMI, we called it Sick Picnic Music. And that was kind of the birth of it. And in our heads, it was just like Sick Picnic is just like an umbrella term for like anything that's fun, cool, kind of offbeat, eclectic. You know, there's joy in that. Like, yeah, dude, let's have a sick picnic.
I got a sick picnic idea.
What do you got, man?
I'm not lying. I always got something. So
Yeah.
when I moved to where I live now, I started getting in-home water service because you don't drink the tap water out here. So I
Okay.
get those 5-gallon jugs of water that go in the hot
Right.
cold machine, right? Take
Yeah.
one of those empty jugs. It makes the best drum. It's like the ultimate bongo. I swear,
Nice.
I caught myself the one
Sick.
night sitting there and just I kept playing. I want to grab it right now, but I don't want to jump off screen and look unprofessional. It's right there too. I can grab it.
See, but you know what? That's great behavior. That's great creative curiosity
love
because
it.
honestly, how many people are gonna, maybe children, but how many adults do you know are gonna grab that thing and be like, you know what? Before we get rid of this
I
or
got
fill it back up, let's test out the
acoustics.
the acoustic quality of it.
Do you want to hear it? I'll grab it. It's awesome. It's
I
amazing.
do now. At this
All right, I'm
point.
grabbing it. I'm just gonna do it.
All right.
We have no rules. I'll be right back.
There's no rules.
Get it? Get sick. You knew it was gonna happen, Dames. You
I
get me
mean-
on this show, it's gonna derail the whole thing.
I love it though.
Here it is.
Why, that's a water jug.
This one's a deluxe because it's got a handle, which makes it
Oh,
even
that is-
sweeter.
that's
right?
quite
So,
deluxe.
Yeah,
it is.
dude. Pleasant.
I love this thing.
Can you
I like
blow
it
in the
too.
one side and make a? Oh yeah,
No, it's just
it's all
one of those-
fucked up.
Yeah,
Well,
it just sounds good though.
we
I like
tried.
it.
I like
I
it.
tried. God damn it! At least I did that.
I'm on your page, Matt.
At least
right.
I tried.
Matt, can you help us out?
Look, man, it's got to be either Oregon or Washington, right?
It's
It has to
Oregon.
be. I think it's Oregon because
That's
the
stupid.
top border of California is a straight line.
It's Oregon. Look at
Good
that.
for you.
I'm
Very
from
study.
about right here on the Washington
Okay.
side. This line at the top here is the Columbia River. Just so you
Oh,
guys know.
yeah, okay.
Very
Yeah,
good.
of course.
Matt Geiler gets it. Everybody.
Good for you.
Look at that. 8th grade geography
Look at that.
stills got it.
Yeah,
You guys know what the capital of Oregon is?
Portland.
No.
It is
Think witches, but on the,
Salem.
there you go. There you go.
It shouldn't be Salem.
You're right. It should be Portland.
It should be Portland.
All right. All right.
Sounds right.
Let's. We got way more to talk about, but let's get to some just some debauchery, some chicanery, if you will.
Some debauchery.
Sorry, you
Wow.
didn't
I
like
think
my
I
joke.
know what your answer is going to be to this because I think it's the same as mine.
Okay.
So I'm going to let Frankie answer first.
Okay.
If you could bring back one musician who has passed away to live out as long as you're alive before they pass away again, who would it be? Frankie? You're muted or something.
Whoops, my bad. Go ahead.
Did you hear the question?
No, my sound kicked out for
Okay.
a second. That's why I was messing around.
If you could bring back a musician who has passed away to
Oh.
live out your life before they
Oh.
pass away again, who
I
would
already
it
know.
be?
Tom Petty.
I thought, yeah, I figured you might.
I
say
love
that.
that man.
Tom Petty. Well, I
do.
think based on what I said earlier, Matt knows who mine is, and I throw it to you. Do you not feel obligated? I just think maybe we're on the same page. But go ahead.
I think maybe we are too, but I'm gonna, especially this year, of course, I'm gonna say Brian Wilson.
Yeah, that's mine. And here's why. Like, he was not like some miserable schmuck. He was still making music
Right.
at a high quality. Like, I wouldn't say like, I don't know, who's somebody that passed away that was not making music anymore. Like, I would leave those people alone. But Brian
Yeah.
Wilson had so much more in him. To put
Most of
out.
them do that die young.
And well, he was not young.
Well, I mean, young. The
But
good
I
ones
also
always
think,
die.
Matt, do you think there's something to when the love of your life passes away that you don't necessarily stay too much longer, especially when you're elderly. Is there something?
Oh,
to
yeah.
that?
I mean, I don't know how you quantify it, but I mean, stories like that all the time. I know a lot of people whose parents or grandparents or something, they've been coupled for a long stretch of time. And so it seems to me anyway that there's kind of like an intertwining of soul to such a degree that it's like, this what especially if you're at the kind of the ending phase of the human lifespan. I think it'd
Yeah.
be pretty easy to just be like, well, what's left really? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and the example that I'm giving obviously is Melinda Wilson passed
Yeah.
away in
Yeah.
January of 24,
Right.
and then Brian made it to June of 25. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't think that I think there is something to that. Is you know, your soul just
Mhm.
kind of breaks a little bit, and that hurts me even more to think that knowing the torture that he went through in his life anyway.
Mm.
That he had to have any more after he found the love of his life. Um,
Sure. Sure.
so let me just plug it. If you have not seen Love and Mercy, you owe it to yourself to go and check it out. It's not a perfect tale, but if you don't really know anything about Brian Wilson and the history of the Beach Boys, it does a pretty good job of explaining. All right,
I
Matt.
saw the Beach Boys live.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a
Did you
young
see
kid.
Mike Love and the Schmoes?
Yes,
Or
I
did you
had-
actually see the Beach Boys?
No, I saw the Beach Boys in Buffalo.
With
downtown
Brian
Buffalo.
Wilson?
Yes, way back in the day. I was young.
We'll
90s.
fact check you on that, Frankie. We'll get to it.
Well, I
fact check
maybe
you.
I don't know. Maybe I was young though, so I don't remember the names. But
well,
I
that's
saw
okay.
them when I was super young, and I'm 47. And
I mean,
I'm
they
talking-
definitely played together during your lifetime. They definitely did.
then it was them.
Okay. What was Matt Geiler like as a grade schooler?
Matt Geiler was pretty busy, and the busyness could veer into kind of getting in trouble. It kind of depended on where the energy was kind of directed, I as a little kid, I was always like making stuff. I was always wanting to make stuff, trying to make songs. I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot of plays. I roped my reading groups into doing these plays in our grade school. I was, we had a handy cam at home. I was trying to film stuff. I was always writing stuff. Doing voices, doing characters. Kind of, I don't know, kind of the same stuff I do as an adult, but just in a way where I needed a lot more help and a lot more encouragement and a lot more direction. And sometimes you would get lucky. Sometimes you'd get like a teacher or something who was really like, oh, I know how to funnel this in a way that's not going to disrupt the entire class.
Mhm.
And also, be good for the kid. And then sometimes you would get a situation where it was like, sit down, be quiet. I don't want to hear any more about this. And if it continues,
Yeah.
I'm sending you to the principal's office. So I don't think I was a lot different at the core. I just think the little kid version of you is so much less self-conscious and less self-aware that it's all spirit, it's all play all the time. So that was me as a kid in a nutshell. And then I think kind of woven in there somewhere, I think because of my because of things happening at home, because of my home life, I think there was also like a thread of kind of sadness, longing to get to another place. Like this isn't going to be the end of the story. There's some other place that it's not here, it's not now, but it's over the hill or on the horizon or something that I need to keep moving toward that's better. So there's also a little melancholy wrapped into that, ebullience.
So you're actually leading the conversation right now in
Am I?
in the direction of what questions I ask, because you brought up something there that I want to address, and that was you said, and I just find this so fascinating because it's not what I know at all. You said the child version is less self-conscious, and I want to bring that up, and it's leading me into this next question, or this next stage of what you do.
Yeah.
I've never known any version of Matt Geiler to have any problem with being self-conscious. Go ahead, Frankie. I see that you're having issues. But when you, because I've seen it, man. I've seen, and I'm going into mixtape right now. Okay, that's where we're going.
Okay.
That's where we're going, because
Right.
mixtape you would have to almost have the ability to turn off any amount of being self-conscious because of just what it entails.
Yeah.
It's impossible to do that and have a conscience of any kind. So for the people, can you tell, so that they know what we're talking about if they have not experienced this, can you tell people what the mixtape is and how it evolved? Because I know that you did, well, we can get through that you did, the Second City Chicago, which you learned about improv. You went on, I know you've never done the televised version of, what's the show? Whose Line Is It Anyway? But
Right.
you've done live performances of that with those people,
Yeah.
including Laura Hall and Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles, Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
Like, you've gone toe to toe with these people. I wish there was some televised version of that, because I'm sure that you smoked them all. But tell us about mixtape. Tell us about mixtape, and then tell me how. Because I've seen things not work for you before.
Yeah.
I've seen an idea where you're like, well, I God damn it, I did my best, but and I don't think the crowd really notices. They're like, that was hilarious, or I couldn't do that. At least if you're watching it, you respect it. But go ahead, tell us what mixtape is, and we'll go from there.
Mixtape is just a live musical improv comedy show. It's about an hour long, and I create a mixtape with a live audience via, they throw out song titles. I've never heard them before because they're just making them up. And then I improvise those songs in the moment off the top of my head to music that whoever's running the sound has curated, and I don't really know what they're going to play.
I would love that.
That's great, dude.
I get the song and I'm hearing the music for the first time, which also makes for a lot of chaos because, like somebody will yell out something that sounds to my ear like a ballad or something. And then I'll be like, oh yes, it's a love song or whatever. And then all of a sudden trap music starts playing and I have to, somehow justify it or pivot it. So it's a really like eclectic kind of a hour musical improv set.
It is something that I was trying to get pulled up so that we could play a little bit of it, because I have about 2 hours of it on this drive.
Oh, man.
I will be getting it out so people can see it. In fact, the show that I mentioned when Blevins was on, we talked about a show called Comedians that I've been working on for several years. And it's near completion, but it's on this drive that I can't take anything off of right now. So that's the only holdup right now. This drive is dying, but I will get that out because some of the things, it was my favorite. And just the best part about it is just watching the other people reacting. I think that's some of my favorite footage is the people that I've got reacting to this. I mean, it is chicanery. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's buffoonery.
It's
Any, anything. It's madness. Yes.
but to your point, it does. I mean, in that moment, in that little 1 hour section of time, yeah, there's not a lot of like self-conscious. It's kind of like let it all out, you know.
Let it ride.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the difference between, to answer your question, the difference between the adult and the child is, in the adult, I think there's just kind of an inescapable layer of forethought, you know, like here's an example. And you've also seen me engage in like mixtape-ish behavior when no one's watching, or like at a band rehearsal, or like maybe you and I are out to dinner or something. So
Yeah.
this is all personal and calibrated, of course, but I feel like maybe in the adult version, there's just some level of forethought. Maybe it's more with some people and less with other people. I might have a little less of it, but I think in the child, there is none, because your impulse to play or respond or react is so at the forefront, because you don't know everything. Everything is learning. Everything is input. There's a newness to things, and so I think there's just a lesser degree of how's this going to look to other people, or what's going to happen if I burst into song in this restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here.
So wait.
I'm sitting here trying to reconcile in my head, like, how you just seem to be invincible in that you can fail. And I'm not saying that I've seen you just absolutely whiff, like I've seen many other people just absolutely whiff.
Yeah.
But it's like you're covered in duck feathers when you're performing. Like,
Yeah, but
everything
that's
not
just
the worst
falls
thing.
off of him.
It's not the
I
worst
can't do it.
Why not?
I mean, I would be, obviously, if I like bombed, I would come off stage and I would be beating myself up.
See,
But
I have to interfere.
go
Okay.
ahead. You have to
Interfere. I love that
No,
word.
I have to, because I'm sitting
Interfere.
here and I'm taking this all in, and if I'm part of this discussion, you got to hear me out too.
Yeah, you are.
So failing is part of life. The only way you get better is hitting those failures, hitting those walls, having brakes go bad on a car, and having to figure out, how do I fix this situation and make it better? While you put better brakes on a car, maybe try to do something different than you did before when you hit that wall. Life is about failing. If you're never to fail, you're never going to grow. And that's the nature of the beast. Whatever business you may be in, Dames, Matt, whoever else, you have to fail sometimes. You have to suck at something in order to get better. If this show sucks and we have to make changes, that's okay. It's part of the nature of the beast. If I'm wrong, anybody in the comments, feel free to drop it in. But I'm very emotional when it comes to the work I put in, the work that we do to make a great show. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's a challenge. And if we fail, we get up, get back on that bike, and get going again. Just take a left this time. I don't know.
No, I agree
Yeah.
with you on everything you said 100% with
the way it
no
is.
buts. No buts. The only thing that I would say is what I'm talking about with this guy.
Well, we're not talking about. I was talking
is
in general.
You would never
Oh.
know. Like, he doesn't waver in any of it.
Well, you're humble.
It's always I
Strong.
ruled. I owned it. Like,
Yeah, but
it's
you know
amazing.
what, Matt?
It's amazing.
By you showing resilience, and most importantly, vulnerability. Because let's face it, there's times where we feel vulnerable when we're trying to do something like this, or whatever you do, and it's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world to feel vulnerable, to feel open to all the missiles and grenades that can be thrown at you. But if you stand your ground and believe in what you are and what you can do and what you've been doing and what you can see in your future, that's what makes you keep going. That's what keeps the clock ticking, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, can I ask you? All right, here's a question for you. Have you ever had a moment where you're like, "Fuck"?
Yes.
I have them every day.
Many.
And how is it that you're able to not show that to anybody?
Because he's humble.
Well, here's one that I'll give you an example of one that has. I mean, this happened. Gosh, this would be almost 30 years ago now. But after college, I moved to New York for a while, and I was doing my acting. I was in an acting conservatory in New York called AMDA. And I was in the studio program there, which was an acting program that was oriented for film and TV. And I wasn't there very long. One of my instructors was like, you'd really probably better be served, doing an MFA program, Master of Fine Arts, doing like an acting program at, like one of the big schools. And she had a friend. This is an epic fail. To borrow a term from 2012.
It was a sick fail.
Yeah, it was the sickest. But she reached out on my behalf to a friend of hers who was in the on the faculty at Yale School of Drama, and she made a personal entreaty to this person. She was like, "You gotta see Matt. You gotta audition him. He'd be perfect for the program." I didn't know if that was what I wanted to do, but it's Yale School of Drama, right?
Yeah.
Yale.
I went in and I did what I still will tell you is the worst audition of my entire life. You had to do two contrasting pieces, like a classical monologue and something more modern, so everybody does like a Shakespeare and then, maybe something like a, Tom Stoppard or Sam Shepard or something like that for the modern thing. And it's supposed to show your range as an actor. And I just blew it. I mean, I was nervous. I was kind of unsure of the path that I wanted to do it anyway. I felt like despite the personal introduction and the sales on the front end of it, I felt like, this is Yale. I don't probably belong here. And I went into this audition, and as bad as you think it could go, it went worse. It was the actor's nightmare, because not only did I blank. So I'm like I'm in front of this panel of 3 people, including the head of the school, in the lab theater. I'm in New Haven. I'm on Yale's campus. It's like the moment, right? I'm doing my Shakespeare first. Okay.
Jeez, did you throw up before? I would have.
I was very like wound up and tight and not
close
loose
to
at all.
puking. Got you.
So I start doing the thing, and it was definitely like, as I'm speaking in my head, I'm like disassociating, like almost from my body. I'm like, what am I saying? Like there's this inner monologue. There's no integration. I'm speaking this soliloquy from Coriolanus, but in my head, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? What's coming out of your mouth? And then at some point, I realized I was like fixed in this really histrionic position with like a hand up in the air, like an elocutionary actor from like the 1800s. I'm like, what am I doing with my hand? And it was this cascading thing. And then finally, as I'm looking at my hand raised up into the light, I stopped talking. I don't know for how long, really awkward pause. I look down at the people who are adjudicating me. All of them have like their hands over their faces. One dude is like holding his head like a cartoon. Like they're having cartoon reactions of, this is a bad thing.
Yeah. Did you see pictures of Notre Dame or something?
It was it was awful.
That's
It
awesome.
was it was
I like
awful.
these stories because you know what? You know that happened, but look however many years later, and now you can laugh about it. And at the time,
Yeah.
you wanted to crap your pants, probably run out of that campus and
Oh,
go to Notre
dude.
Dame. Yeah.
It was like curtains. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm not,
Yeah.
I mean, the word is gonna get out at this point.
It's a
Like
wrap.
this guy's a fraud. And I stopped actually in the middle of my audition and I looked at this buffet of human anguish that I had caused with my terrible, terrible acting. And I was like, if I don't say something, my instructor from back in New York it's gonna get bad for her. So I just stopped and I just kind of took a breath and I was like, I looked at the main gal and I was like, I need to stop. And
You already did stop.
and they're just like, their eyes get a little wider and I'm like,
Yeah.
I would like to apologize to you guys. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm not sure what just came out of me. I know it wasn't good. The reactions that you're having are appropriate. I just want to apologize and I'm sorry for wasting your time. This has been a debacle and I really feel bad about doing this in front of you guys. And
Did you then walk the mile after that?
and the weird thing was though, when I did that, they seemed to soften a little bit and they still weren't pleased. And I knew I wasn't getting in. They're not going to let me in. But the main gal was like, well, do you have like another piece that you might want to show us or something? And I was like, no, the other piece is actually worse. It's going to be worse.
That's all right.
And,
it's in my car.
they're kind of laughing a little bit, chuckling, so at least the mood is lightened a little bit.
That's good.
Now, I as you were telling that, I envisioned like somebody writing this, and then they're like, "That's part of it." Like,
Yeah.
the whole act
Probably
was
made a
that
movie
he was
out of
really
it.
bad at it, and
Right.
then he makes an apology that's heartfelt, where the acting is actually spectacular and seems real, and then he goes, "And scene," and then everybody's like, "Wow, that was great!" Because you had to be.
You know what?
terrible.
That would have been brilliant if I would have had the presence of mind, but I was just so racked up by it that I was just like, the sooner I can get out of here, the better. But that I used that moment to answer your question, just because that's one that sticks out pretty clearly. But you have like Frankie said, you have a lifetime of those
Jeez.
moments. I mean, they're all over the place. I think the most important thing is just like,
Oh,
did you learn something from it? And what's next? I mean, you can't go back and change it,
No, you described that story's every first date I've ever had.
well, I got a good story about.
I was
something
like, they're not
this.
going to let me in. Like,
So, James,
go ahead.
man, one of the reasons Dames likes to have me here is I got a story. I got a story for every. I mean, I got stories where I could probably, honestly, if I had somebody that was willing to just listen to me for a lot of time, a lot of hours in a row, I could write a lot of books.
Yeah.
True story. I watched the movie Cocktail years ago, and I was working at a restaurant job, and God, this job, I wanted out so freaking bad. I was a manager. I was in charge of, a restaurant. A huge corporate restaurant. And I watched the movie Cocktail, and the next day I'm like, I'm quitting my job. I am going to quit tomorrow. Not go to Jamaica, but I'm quitting. And
Right.
I had it all planned out. I'm going to go in, and once all the servers and kitchen staff and us managers get by the bar for what we call the pre-meal to go over the specials and whatever, smoke cigarettes and do what they did, I was going to go to the back office. I was going to get my coat, walk out to the head manager who was out there, flip him my keys and say I quit and walk out the front door. Here's what really happened. It all happened perfectly until it didn't. So I go to the back, I get my coat on, whatever. I walk out, I flip the keys to the manager. I said, I quit, have a good day. I go to walk out the front door. it was locked. I forgot to unlock it. So I had to walk all the way back through, past everybody that was still staring at me like, what just happened? And I said, I didn't unlock the door, but anyways, I quit, and I'll see you later. And then I went out the back door. Talk about a planned out moment. I was walking off into the sunset, and I got held up by a stupid lock door.
That's so perfect.
We
was
had
awesome.
a comment to your story, Matt. The
Only thing left to do after that is fall off the stairs.
Get them to laugh. That's what this guy would do.
yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Agreed.
Let's talk about how the acting career went. I think it might have been the last time that we went for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you if I could see and hold your SAG card.
Well, that's
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing it up is the SAG award nominees came out today, which is there's no longer called the SAG Awards.
Right.
It
They're
would
called
now
the
be called
Actor Awards
the
now.
Actor Awards.
Yeah.
Why?
And I think like that was I was like, can I take a picture of it? You're like, sure, I guess I don't care. So I'm like, I actually held a SAG card. It's so cool to me.
Did you
I've
weird
done
him out
that.
when you first? Did he weird you out when you first met him?
Dames?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a story.
He
Was it
didn't
awkward?
weird. I wasn't weirded out by him at all. The first
Oh,
time I
okay.
met you was when you guys came on the TV show for like the Band of the Week or something.
Correct.
Back in Kilbosby, and because we used to have these local bands on every week to do a couple songs,
Oh.
and I wasn't weirded out. I just thought it was great, particularly because I was like meeting these people I'd never met, and in particular, Kilbosby, both Dames and Dane were in the group, so there was these brother harmonies that they were doing, that really I was like, oh, that's cool. So my reaction to him was like, I'd like to get to know that dude better.
right.
And then it was like we kind of circled each other and like knew of each other and were aware of each other's exploits. But after we moved back from California, I think at least when I started to feel like, oh man, this dude's somebody I want to get closer with, was we put out this Frederick Julius album, and he listened to it, and we went out to get some breakfast or coffee or something and talk about it. And he was just we were having a conversation. There was no like judgment or anything. It was just like a really heartfelt conversation over like, well, what do you want to do with the music? And I'd love to be a part of it, and maybe like get a live band together. And I don't know. So the relationship kind of started like that. But as we started doing that project, I don't know, we just had a lot to talk about. And I think you can stop me if I'm wrong, Damon, but it's just similar sensibilities and kind of similar thoughts about creating and writing, and I don't know, just how to be a human. So no, it wasn't ever intimidating. It was more like, oh, there are people like this out in the wild.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess my joke kind of went bad there.
No,
I was terrified, and I spent years running away from he chased me all over Omaha. Finally, he beat me into submission and
He's
kept
like trying
me
to
in
hug
his
you for a
basement.
selfie. No,
Yeah.
Dames and me, the way we met was really weird too. So, if Dames wants to
there
tell
it
that
is.
story, he can.
There it is.
See?
This is
Yeah,
2008. This is
Dude.
Matt right here. As a very groomed and handsome anchor for this news program. Here's a
Dude.
younger me with hair.
Yeah.
Where'd that
And
go?
the funniest thing, I'll link this clip in the YouTube description along with some of the other things that we'll get to. But I remember he goes, "These are some sweet smelling guys. They're intelligent rockers with a point." And I'm like, this guy's so full of shit. But Then we went on and we do like like 30 seconds of our song, and yeah, this is like a 4 minute clip from television that's still on the internet for some reason.
Nothing ever leaves the internet, James.
It still lives.
So that's
Yeah,
my little
the only thing
brother.
it does.
And the funniest part about this video when you guys watch it is the drummer right here with the
Yeah.
Pacific shirt, and then the other guy on the other side, the bass player. They're just standing there with nothing to do while we're singing this song, and it's the most awkward thing that you'll ever watch. They kind of start clapping a little bit with the rhythm, and they like don't quite know what to do because they have nothing. They're usually playing an instrument, and they're just on camera while we're playing, and it's the most awkward thing.
Well, the entire setup was awkward because our budget for that show was about $96 a month. And it was understaffed. I mean, it was kind of like, yeah, come in here and see if your band can navigate our absolute lack of technology.
The lighting's good.
We did have
You
some
have the
decent
real
lights.
studio lights. I mean, so
For sure.
that's a good segue from Frankie. Way to go! Way to bring us meeting into that, because I had it on here. I wasn't quite sure when we were going to talk about it, but at this station, KXVO, that was like a. Can you explain what KXVO was to locals in Omaha and anyone outside of Omaha?
KXVO was the CW affiliate. Now, in that photo, you see that it says 15 the WB. And what happened while I was at the station was that the WB and UPN merged and created the CW. So KXVO was that affiliate station. And for a brief amount of time, it was just a little under a year, after I had graduated from Second City in Chicago, I became the anchor of the 10 o'clock news
Oh, that's awesome.
program
I would love that.
on the CW affiliate. The only thing was, this news program was a half hour of maybe a minute and a half of pop news.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was absolute madness. I mean, it was like weird sketches, video bits, bad interviews. And then it did have weather, and that made it even weirder because it was like, what is this? Is this trying to be a legitimate news show? But it seems like the news show has been taken over by like, punked, or like a more inept version of Impractical Jokers or something. It was nonsense. And it was that way.
You know what though? That's pretty sweet. I'm having some sound issues again. I gotta drop, guys. I'll be right back. My sound
right.
is off.
It was that way because there was no oversight to it. There was just like 4 people on the show. So it
And you guys
resulted
were the writers,
in things like
producers.
this.
You were the writers, producers.
Yeah.
And what experience did you have that gave you any right to do this?
I had the experience of, I think actually what got me the job is I had a ton of on-camera experience doing like commercials and industrial film type of works where I had done a lot of teleprompter work.
Yes.
And they were trying, this is a true story, Brian McFadden, who was the host before me, and he was a VJ on MTV. He's also from Omaha.
Really?
He hosted Total Request Live after Carson Daly.
Wow.
He came back to Omaha. He's between gigs, and so he was hosting this news program. He did it for maybe like 2 months. It's up in the air as to whether he quit or got fired, but I followed in his footsteps. I was the next one. And during that interim time, they were trying to fill it with like anybody they could find. And the problem that they were running into was nobody had experience doing teleprompter, like, reading off of a teleprompter, but looking like you weren't reading. And so I think that's how they said, okay, this guy at least knows what he's doing with a teleprompter. So I think that's how I got it. But I didn't have a broadcast journalism background for sure. I had a improv and sketch comedy background.
And who are the other players with you? There was
The other
Taylor's?
Taylor Stein was the producer, and he was, producing and stacking the show and writing a lot of it. And then there was Kyle Beneke, who was the main camera guy. He also was more famous on the local music scene because he was the lead singer / throater of a Christian scream metal band called System Failure.
Yeah, I remember System Failure.
And then there was Jeff Van Roy, who was an actual broadcast journalism major who had kind of just landed in Omaha from the University of Kearney. And he was like the one who was like, I'd come up to him and be like, if I want to do blah, 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 blah nonsense, he was the one who actually knew, like, okay, well, you got to have this kind of a microphone. We're going to have to shoot it like this. He had the technical know-how of how to do the stuff.
Right.
And those were the four people really with the show.
And I mean, with no budget,
No budget.
that's so crazy to me, dude.
Wouldn't you say that it was almost like a real life kind of UHF thing, but like more bonkers and more crazy?
My recollection was it was very chaotic.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anywhere for us to go other than where we were.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of resembled a studio that you would imagine, for like a news thing.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much more than that. I remember thinking that we were massive failures, though. I remember thinking that we were not great.
That's so sweet of you, though, because to think that you were more massive failures than the massive failure of the show and the people making it, it's really kind.
I honestly never had that thought at all. I was like, wow, they're never going to have us back here.
Yeah, I have to chime in. I know this isn't what defines you as a person, just from talking with you.
Yeah.
Sorry for the hiccups. I had to reboot my Ethernet cord in and out a couple times to get the sound right. But anyways, this doesn't define you as a person, in my opinion. Just getting to know you in the short time we've been here. But I think it's awesome. I mean, it's more respectable than that of what Hawk Tua girl did, right?
Dude,
let's use that as an example. I mean, let's be honest. This is awesome. That was, to me, it made me so angry every time I would see a reel with that girl. It made me mad. I'm like, how is this cool? Like, none of that was cool. To me, it was a girl embarrassing herself. And this is like, you have talent in that dance, man. I'm not going to lie. I watched the whole thing. I thought it was awesome.
That's what I was going to say. Tell us how this came about. This is the Dancing Pumpkin Man.
So this is the Dancing Pumpkin Man meme, and it came about because the nature of the show was we had to go live at 10 o'clock every night, 7 nights a week, and we would just always get to like 9 o'clock, and there'd be a giant hole in the show because we didn't have time or resources to get it finished.
Right.
And so inevitably, pieces of the show would be just like desperate trying to fill air. And Halloween week of 2006, I believe this was the first when it was created, was one of those moments where it was just like, yo, we got a minute and a half of just nothing to fill, and it's 9:30. The show is supposed to be stacked and ready to go at 9.
Yeah.
And of course it wasn't, because we go live at 10, and we're like, what are we going to do? We got this black screen nothingness going out of this one thing and into weather. And I'm like, I don't know, can I dance to Ghostbusters in front of a green screen, like throw up like a graveyard or something?
I love that song.
And it wasn't even the real Ghostbusters, obviously, because no budget for music clearance. So it was off of a CD that was in the production room of like Hallmark Sounds of Halloween. It was like a knockoff Ghostbusters cover.
It worked.
And so they did that. I ran up to the kitchen. No, I ran up to the lobby, and that pumpkin head was a decorative foam pumpkin that was in the lobby display for Halloween. And I grabbed it and I cut it in half with a knife. And I jammed a hanger into it to make like a headband on the back half of it. And then I went to the back hallway where there's always a bunch of crap laying around. For some reason, for some other Halloween thing that the other station did, the straight news station, there was like a unitard and then like a ninja hood.
Oh.
And I put on the unitard and I put the hood on and I crammed the mask down. And literally at like 9:48 or something like that, I was like, you guys film this. I'm just going to dance for like 4 minutes straight. And then, you know, use the best part or whatever in that to fill that time. You know what I mean?
So you weren't dancing with music playing, you were just dancing.
I was just dancing I was dancing like a French avant-garde interpretive mime.
But no music was playing for you to dance to.
They were playing the music.
Okay. Because I'm like, how do you dance with no music? So
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
could hear.
Okay.
Yeah, I could hear the music. They had it queued up like on the overhead system or
Gotcha.
whatever, so I could hear
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, but then when they went to go produce the piece, they dropped in the track, and so it sounded a little better. And then I ended up using just like the first minute and a half of it or whatever.
That's amazing.
So how did this go viral?
chaos.
How did this become a thing?
It went viral because it sat on the station's YouTube channel for 3 years. The station got bought out of bankruptcy. The program was canceled. I moved to Los Angeles. Stein moved to Minneapolis. Everybody went their separate directions. And then in 2009, out of nowhere, some guy on BuzzFeed just discovered it by chance, just scrubbing through the internet. He found it. He did a post on BuzzFeed in 2009 for Halloween, and the title of the post was like, "This is the greatest Halloween video in the history of the internet."
Oh.
And he linked to the video, and so that's kind of how it got its initial traction. And what happened as a result was it got it had like 127 views, and then overnight it went to like 80,000 or something like that.
Jeez, good for you.
And so it started to get shared. And then that started this thing of like every year around Halloween, people would like share it or reference it. And so two things would happen every year around Halloween. One, everybody'd share it. And two, some new outlet would call up trying to get to the bottom of what the hell this thing is. Why does this exist? Why is this? And so over the course of from 2009 to maybe 2014, 15-ish was like this 6-year period of gradual seasonal bump. And so I think that's how it became what it was. And then in 2017, I did America's Got Talent as the character. And
I watched that.
That kind of widened it a little bit. So yeah, it's just kind of been this slow burn, this gradual thing that people are like, here's this meme that gets, comes into the consciousness every Halloween, I think.
It's awesome. Did you have to, now when you went on the AJT with this, did you upgrade the mask a little bit and make sure it was more maskish versus?
It's the original mask with the
Really?
hanger.
It had to be. It had to be. You couldn't do it.
Yeah, but some people would, put a last. Someone would have switched it, but
it is a different unitard because the original unitard had no hand
Sparkles.
coverings.
Yeah, there was no sparkles on the first one either.
True. Yeah. And so it's a little different situation there, but yeah, same mask.
So
cool.
Okay.
I think it's cool, and it's not in any way other than it's just something different. It's unique.
Yeah.
Your gut told you to do it, and you did it. And I
Yeah.
don't. Hey, like I said, it's not your defining moment. It's great. I would love to
Right.
be that guy for a minute. I'll be Pumpkin Man. I'll go up there. You know, like
So there's a couple things from this I want to talk about, but normally when
Sorry.
somebody has a talent that they want to do on the show,
Yeah.
they go and audition.
Right.
You didn't have to do that.
No, because they called me 3 different times to get the Dancing Pumpkin Man. And
Oh.
the first time I spoke with them, I believe it was like 2000, it was 10 or 11. It was in the early version of the show. A producer called and was like, Dancing Pumpkin Man. And I was like, I'll have to check with him and see if he's open to it. And I was trying to make a joke. The producer did not think it was funny. Obviously, she was annoyed because she's got to do a show and this is a waste of her time. And she was like, well, if you talk to him, can you give him my number? She was not pleased. The second time they called was like 2 or 3 years later. Same kind of ask. You know, they want these kind of what the fuck moments to put in between the real acts. And that was their pitch that time, was like, you know, we want it to be this crazy viral thing that happens in between, you know, some more serious stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, on the phone, I'm trying to make a joke. It didn't land. I was like, listen, the Dancing Pumpkin Man is not some circus sideshow freak to be trotted out and laughed at. And they were like, well, actually, no, that is exactly what he is. So do you want to do that? I'm like, no. Third time was 2017. And the guy, I don't know why. I guess maybe it was just like, slow season, nothing to do. Is this ever going to end? So I kind of went for broke, and they're like, Dancing Pumpkin Man. And I'm like, well, the Dancing Pumpkin Man is SAG-AFTRA, so you got to pay my day rate and give me, you know, the breaks and craft services, and I'll come on. And they were like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do it.
That's unbelievable.
And I was like,
That's unbelievable.
okay, then
So-
are you guys going to fly me? Because at this point, you know, we had just moved, I think we just moved back to Omaha and built a house. And I'm like, yeah, you have to pay my transportation and fly me. And they're like, okay, fine. And I was like, okay.
I'll
And then
see
when
you
I
there.
got there, I was like, Dancing Pumpkin Man has to be able to do like some improvised back and forth with the judges, you know, a little banter.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's cool. So I don't know. It was actually kind of a cool experience because they weren't really trying to box it in. They were just like, we'll just see what happens, which is also kind of rare for a show like that. You know, each act has a story producer to kind of frame up the act a little bit.
Right.
But they were really chill. They were like, what are your ideas? And I would be like, if Dancing Pumpkin Man gets to the second round, can he be wearing a unitard within a unitard that's encrusted in jewels? And they're like, absolutely, dude. Great. So I think it just came down to the people.
Ah,
Uh-oh. See, there's something wonky with the internet today.
it's the internet. So while he's figuring that out, guys, I will post the links to both of his AGT appearances on the YouTube description. But the thing that I found most hilarious about these performances was he calls Simon Symes. He goes,
Yeah.
which is
I watched it. It was
Howie is like, that's basically the reason that you moved on, is that you called him Symes. But she goes, I think it was Mel B that said, oh, I saw it once. I don't think that I need to see it again. And he goes, to be honest with you, super valid reaction, which I think is hilarious. All right, you can bring him back up whenever you want. And then the second time he shows up, are you going to bring him up?
That's right.
Sorry.
Oh, the second time he's there, they go, so what's going to be different than the first performance? And he's like, well, as you can see, I'm wearing this cape, which is like, if that's the only difference from the
Yeah, I
last
remember
one.
that.
And then he immediately drops the cape.
You know
But
what
anyway, I will put the links in the
Right.
YouTube description because everyone in the world needs to see it. Obviously,
So,
we've discussed that he's so much more than this,
Well,
but you've got to
obviously.
see this. This is
but
great.
man,
Go ahead,
I
Frankie.
have a question for you. So with AGT and all these shows, I was fortunate enough to participate in 25 tapings of Dr. Phil show, and they had what was called the audience warm-up comedian, someone that comes out, gets the crowd ready, tells them when to clap, when not to clap, gives them the hand signals and all that. So essentially, this was like a pre-planned gig where it was you weren't directly performing to advance through AGT. You were just showing up because they wanted some sort of gimmick. Am I hearing that correctly? Or can you not hear me?
I don't know. Maybe he can't hear you.
I don't think you can hear me.
Blink twice if you're in there.
It was a good question though.
It is.
Can you guys
Oh, there you go.
can you guys
Can
hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Sorry.
hear my question?
I'm not able to hear you guys for some reason.
Still can't hear us? I don't know
Something's wonky. That's why I had to fix my router a couple times. So it could be this.
I can see you guys, but I can't hear
I
you.
wonder
So
what's
sorry.
going on.
So sorry.
So sorry.
I wonder what's going on.
Hang on a second. Let me dabble here for a minute.
Do I... How can I fix his mic? Sorry, folks. This is the...
Hello?
Hey.
Yep.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting sound on my end from you guys.
Maybe.
Should I dip and try to come back in? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'll try to come back in.
Yeah.
It could just be a snafu with
Hopefully.
the streaming
Hopefully
service tonight. Because
he can come back. But
well, I was having a couple issues earlier where I kept one time I didn't, but I kept hearing the sound come in and out, and I couldn't hear and I could hear, so I went and checked the stuff on my wire on my internet. But
interesting.
okay, so I got to remove this mat and then bring the new one up. That might be the issue.
Remove that.
I can hear you guys great.
Okay, hear us
Awesome.
now. Sweet.
Yep. Totally.
Sweet emotions.
So go ahead and ask
Sorry
your
for the
question again,
hiccup, you
Frankie.
guys.
Go ahead and
It's not
ask
your
your
fault.
question again, Frankie.
Oh no, I was asking. What I said was I was fortunate enough to participate in 25 live tapings of Dr. Phil, which is actually 50 episodes, and they have what's called a audience warm up comedian who comes in,
Right.
gets the crowd ready, when to clap, when not to clap, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Tells some jokes and integrates some of the online audience, in which I was most of the time, and were you essentially called by AGT to come in and just kind of be the ultimate audience, like between the actual acts they had lined up for that evening, or auditions, if you want to call them that? Were you hired essentially just to kind of come in and do that, be a gimmick to add some fun to the show? Was that your role when you went on AGT?
Yeah, and I think the people who called me were at least tangentially aware of the life of the meme, and
Sure.
so they thought this would be a good thing for that.
Okay.
The judges were utterly unaware of what it was.
That was my next question.
They had no pop culture, internet culture frame of reference for it.
Jeez.
So to them in that first round,
Yeah.
they were like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, Simon buzzed you real quick. What a dick.
Yeah, he buzzed me real quick. Heidi was not a fan.
No, the second round, she was not a fan.
Right. But I think Howie had a good response because of just kind of the back and forth improvising of the banter.
Sure.
And then Mel B, she just kind of, I guess, got it, and she drew a line in the sand, and she was like, "You have to move him through. You have to." So Simon acquiesced, and that's how I got 3 votes. And then at that point, it kind of took on a new life because they're like, okay, we're going to shoot the second round 2 ways. We're going to shoot the second round, you make it to the third round, and we're also going to shoot it where they cut you. But the cool thing about the second round was the guest judge was Chris Hardwick,
Huh.
and he,
Yeah.
at the time that was when he was really big with like Nerdist and the Nerdist podcast and
Talking Dead.
the comedy show, and so he knew what it was, and so that was kind of an unexpected like bump to it.
Well, think about this, Matt.
And then like Simon, he's like, he came up to me after we got done shooting that day, and he was like, why didn't you say anything about like your internet popularity? And I'm like, yeah, I'm joking with him. I'm like, I just want my dancing to speak for itself, man. I don't want to, I'm not out here trying to get famous off of this. And he was like, yeah, but it would have helped me if I would have known you had some kind of thing. And I'm like, look, I'm not into self-aggrandizement, man.
He probably respected you after that, right?
Sorry. He was like, I can get on board with that. I can see it.
Okay, think about this.
But yeah, that was a difference because the assumption from some people was like, oh, this is what this guy does, and he like tours as this or something, or like this is
right.
This is like his main deal.
What if you would have?
Which was kind of funny.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't think he can hear me.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Matt?
I cannot. I cannot hear Dames.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Ask him. Tell him if he would have agreed.
Is that
to
an issue
any
on
of the
my
other
end?
years that Chris Hardwick wouldn't have been there. So that's kind of
again, James.
If he would have agreed to do it any of the other years, Chris Hardwick wouldn't have been there.
Would you have agreed to do it any of the other years if Chris Hardwick wasn't there?
No, that's not what
Or
I'm
was
saying.
there?
That's not what I said.
I
It's all right. I'm gonna drop. I don't know how to drop.
Maybe I don't know. By the third time, I was just kind of like, oh, they're gonna pay me a little, what is essentially like a little stipend, and
well,
I kind of gave in, I guess. But it was cool because it kind of widened the audience for it, and more people were aware of it, and I got some good. I got a couple of cool commercial jobs out of it, some afterlife, so to speak.
Can you hear me now?
To be
Yeah.
nearly. What is
My
it,
question
nearly-
was. Oh, it wasn't really a question. It was an observation that I was trying to relay through Frankie. If you would have accepted it any of those previous years, Chris Hardwick wouldn't have been there, which was a really cool. I mean, to me, that was he's like, yeah, this guy. I love this guy. Because he also was like, so you guys just want to declare the winner now? Or
Yeah.
like he got it. He legitimately got it. And that's a great moment in television for you and for people that are a fan of that character.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I know that just in closing this segment on the Dancing Pumpkin Man, that there's people out there that would go to your booth if you went to like a con around Halloween. I know we've talked about it before. There's the one in Ottumwa. We just got to do it. We just got to do it one of these years. Just set you up a table and be like, here he is.
Yeah, be like one of those retired professional wrestlers with all your shit and charge them to sign it. I'll be the salesman there.
I am really, when you think about it, I
Why
am
not?
kind of the Randy the Macho Man Savage of
yeah.
internet memes. If
I'm
you
not
just
making fun of you. I'm just saying, man.
yeah,
People
for sure.
love that stuff.
All right. Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah,
He said yes.
do it.
All right. So your wife is Jenny Geiler.
Yep,
Amazing woman.
amazing.
2 children. Dog named Calvin.
Yeah.
How did you propose?
It was not anything cool. It was
'Cause you guys knew each other for a while.
yeah, because we knew each other for a while, and it was kind of like it was really backwards. It's not romantic, but we knew that we were kind of like moving in this direction. Been dating for a while, and then we were like, one of the things we would do is we would go out and we would like look at furniture, like kind of imagine what it would be like, to be married and like living together and stuff like that. And so how it happened was like we came back to my mom's house, I think, after doing that one night, and we were hanging out, and just like, oh, we were down at Nebraska Furniture Mart looking at, living room sets and like stuff like that. And my mom was like, so are you, and then we like looked at each other and were like, oh, are we?
Fine.
And then I was like, oh, I guess, oh, do you want to, it came out like that.
Really?
Yeah, it was maybe sweet, but when I look back on it, I wish I had, I don't know, I wish I had planned it. It was more like it was definitely emotional, and we were like happy to like do it formally, but not a very cool story, you know what I mean?
Well,
No, but I
now
just
you can
think
go
it's
back
cool.
and do it
Go ahead,
again.
Frankie. Go ahead,
Renew
Frankie.
your vows and propose to her and do it in a romantic way. Maybe in
Yeah.
Jamaica, where I was going to go when I quit that job.
That's, you know what? Maybe we tie it all together, Frankie.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'll cook the food.
maybe you and me and her go down to Jamaica.
Yeah, right.
And we don't necessarily reveal all the
Jamaica, man.
details. We just like get to the destination, and then Jen's like, "Wait, who is this?"
Who's this idiot?
I'm like, "This is Frankie. He's going to be facilitating what should have happened 25 years ago."
All right, you stand there. You stand here. I
So
love it.
I just think it's cool that you guys, you managed the company together. How long? How many years marriage is this?
May it'll be 25.
20. Ooh, that's the
Quarter
that's the
century.
big one.
Yeah.
If
a
you're
big
going to
one.
be buying a nice expensive, is it diamond?
I don't know what 25 is.
I think 25 is the diamond anniversary.
Is it? Okay.
You can't be
Yeah,
having
gift
all these
card
car
these days.
issues. You can't be having expensive car issues.
Dude, I told you in our text, like serpentine belts.
Oh, those are the worst.
Dude, do you know what happens, by the way, when a serpentine belt goes out while your oldest son is out driving the car? In the
Yeah.
process of driving it,
Mhm.
that thing goes, the power steering goes,
Yep.
the engine seizes up, the car, you can't steer the car. Luckily he wasn't on the interstate, but
Jeez.
he's like, the car just stopped working and I had to pull off to the side of the road. He was describing what happened. I was like, to me, it sounds like a belt went out or something.
Yeah.
But I said, don't try and start it back up because that's going to damage the engine possibly. And just stay put. We had to get AAA called and, the whole towing situation to
Yeah.
confirm it. And
Zero
those things
fun.
aren't cheap to replace. But I thought I texted Damon, I'm like, not going to be able to do this which I hate doing because one of the things I'm like, I hate having some kind of excuse of like, oh, I can't do the thing that I said I was going to do, because show business is such a flimsy affair anyway. There's so many flakes anyway.
Mhm.
I never want to be that guy. So of course, when I text him at like, 1 PM and I'm like, car troubles, dude. And
Well.
in my head, I'm just like, he's gonna come back with like, what? It's a virtual show. What does the car have to do with it?
No,
Um,
dude,
so,
I didn't
but-
even think. I was just like, I don't know what to say. Right? I mean, like, I know
Yeah.
that you have a schedule too, and I can't just be like, fine, we'll do it Monday, and
Right.
and know that you're okay with that. So I'm just like, I don't know what to say right now. Give me.
I know what
No.
I would have said. I know what I said. I was like, well, if he has car trouble, if he can't make it, we'll just book him for another time when he can make it.
Yeah, I mean,
Life
that's kinda what
happens.
we-
You can't
kinda what we
block
decided
life
on.
from happening sometimes. It happens.
Yes, fortunately, it wasn't in my imagination. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is gonna wipe out the entire rest of the day, but it didn't.
Good.
So
Glad you're here, and I'm having a great time with you. You're a good dude. I like you. I think it's full of shit.
That's great, man.
Well, man, I like
you
meeting new
too.
people, man. I've networked heavily over the last decade with people from across the country, people in show business, people in comedy. I took a stand-up comedy course for a couple weeks actually.
Oh,
So,
sick.
oh yeah, man, I take advantage of whatever networking I can get. Am I going to go anywhere with it? I don't know, but I don't ever think I'm not going to go somewhere with it. I
Right.
live in the Adirondack Mountains. I love it up here. It's quiet. It gives me more of a space in my brain to become more creative and want to do more stuff, believe it or not.
Sure.
When you get
Yeah.
out of the noise, your brain is able to focus a little better because you got a lot of alone time up here. And for me, that maybe this is the beginning of something. I don't know. I was lucky enough to meet this. Well, I pointed the wrong way to meet Dames, and we met on the weirdest terms too. It was kind of goofy. We actually fought each other for 30 seconds verbally, and the next day we were friends. It was so stupid. I don't even remember what it was about, but here we are. I think it's a couple years now, right, James? A couple years,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
We've been buddies, and we still
I love
argue.
it.
We still argue sometimes, where I have to tell him what I tell him, he tells me what he tells me, and then we're all good. So no, life happens, and for me, I'm just waiting for that break to happen. I just keep working towards it. It's really all you can do.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
what's your most unpopular food opinion?
Oh no, I know where we're going.
I feel like in my life, it's been that I detest cold sliced tomatoes.
What?
That's usually the reaction I find.
So you would not be down with the Chicago dog?
Don't dig it. Take the tomatoes off of there.
Okay.
Take the tomatoes off of my burger. Take them off of I just can't, man. And it's so weird too, because I will, like, if it's cooked, if it's like in a chili or something, or something like
it's a whole
that.
different flavor profile at that point. So yeah, I mean,
But the cold, like just the sliced tomatoes.
It's the texture, it's the rawness. That's why I don't like cream cheese or ranch dressing or seafood.
didn't-
It's
I
like,
didn't know
okay.
Yeah,
that.
for me, it's one of those foods. But they're in quite a bit of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if it's like you're a monster. Like people are like, hey, what's wrong with you? But definitely the baseline of saying, I don't like cold sliced tomatoes. Most reactions are like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
Well, I've never heard it, but I'm not. I don't judge you for it. I don't like certain things. I don't like coleslaw. I don't like cabbage.
Tell us in the
Perfect.
comments what you guys don't like.
Yeah.
What foods don't you like?
Who hates cream cheese like I do?
Nobody. You're the only one. You're the
I
only one.
think cream cheese is the worst product ever. It's
Dude,
just
Miracle
disgusting.
Whip is the only food I will not eat. It's
I'll
the
eat
only
Miracle
thing I will
Whip
not
on
eat.
cold sliced tomatoes, though. That's kind of the funny
Frankie,
thing about
no, you're a freak. That's wrong
you
of
weirdo.
you. That's wrong of you.
this. They're so good, though. I just plop it on the sliced tomatoes and pew, pew, pew. Very good. But no, not,
So, okay.
tomatoes aren't for
Wow.
everybody. That's
No
not weird.
tomatoes. That is
about deviled
unpopular.
eggs?
That's very unpopular.
I like a deviled egg.
I could eat a whole dozen of those suckers.
Yeah.
With green
That'd be
olives
actually
on
2
them.
dozen.
Well,
Pretty
no,
deviled
it's a
egg.
full dozen because they're cut in
That'd be
half.
2 dozen.
No, 1 dozen is cut in half. That's a dozen.
That's 2 dozen deviled eggs. Fight me on
It's-
this.
It's a dozen eggs, buddy.
Yeah, but it's 2 dozen deviled eggs.
Okay, I can eat 2 dozen deviled eggs in one sitting.
24.
24.
I can see both sides of the argument.
Yeah, you're a great
Honestly.
moderator. Thanks for nothing. What's the strangest thing in your fridge right now?
Come on. Aloe vera for sunburn.
Probably
You have that in your
like paratites. No. It's I don't know, probably some probiotic that has never been opened.
Well, the reason I ask is because I know it's January, where a lot of people still have their New Year's resolution, and I know the Geiler household is
Oh.
famous for buying produce and then leaving it in the fridge as if they
Yeah.
were going to eat it, and then
Yep.
it becomes a.
A monstrosity.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd ask, but that's okay.
Yeah. There's nothing weird in there. There's just a bunch of languishing produce.
If you were a time traveler,
Yeah.
You could only go one way. Would you go
Okay.
forward or backwards, and why?
Oh God, I can't wait to answer this.
You can go first, Frankie, and give Matt time to think. Since you can't wait, go ahead.
No, I can wait.
No, go.
No,
What would you do?
Ooh,
Give him
Matt,
some
I
time.
insist.
I don't
Do
know.
you need time?
I probably would. I'm a history major, so the past is very enticing. But given only one choice, forward into the future, just because I'm curious about it, curious to see what happens to me, curious to see what my kids do.
There you go.
Hmm.
Frankie, one way, forward or backward, and
Oh, I'd go back
to where?
to where I've never been. The 70s,
That's a lot
early
of
70s.
That's a pretty broad spectrum, bro.
Well, I was born in 78, and I when I watch, replays of like Woodstock and how people peace, love, rock and roll, and how free it was, and there was no cell phones and no internet, no stupid. The only time you saw the news is if you had a TV, black and white most
Yeah, no
cases.
dumbass podcast.
No people named Damon Marvs. To me, and I'm not saying that to be funny. You asked an honest question, and I'm giving my honest answer.
No
I would
people.
want to live in the
honest,
70s.
that doesn't make me feel any better.
I'd be that guy at Woodstock in a mud pile with naked girls. I mean, that would be me, and I would love every second of it. So,
And you wouldn't
yeah.
do that now?
No, because I'd be all over the internet, get canceled, and have Discord groups wanting to ban me.
Oh, so you'd only do that if you could get away. I got you.
Yeah.
I feel
But
you.
I mean, that's a pretty fruitful answer, don't you think?
So Woodstock. If you're saying I would go to Woodstock,
Oh, I would
I
have done more
accept
than that.
it. I accept it.
That's the shit.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, thanks.
All
High fives. Peace.
Matt, you're a improv comedian. Who's your favorite comedian?
Frankie J.
Probably topping the list is Andy Kaufman.
Andy's great. Well, it's great.
Andy's probably the biggest one for me, and then close second would be just like any of my heroes that came through Second City. Bob Zamuda, yeah. That original, not original, but like the second wave of Second City people. That group that was not just Bill Murray and Belushi and Harold Ramis, but also the Toronto squad of Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy,
Nice.
John Candy, that mix of people.
How much did that mix of people influence what you decided to do post high school?
I mean, they influenced what I was about even in high school, because the whole point was like, it wasn't like so much jokes. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to do stand up and do like a constructed setup punchline. It was more about characters, and it was more about situations. And since the approach was improvisational, watching SCTV and watching somebody like Kaufman, who's kind of comedy, yeah, but also almost a performance artist and kind of a Dadaist, absurdist approach, was like, oh, there's more ways into this than just, can you write jokes? If you happen to be somebody who does voices or characters or weird behaviors, that was like an
I mean, that was a dick move.
that was like an entryway. So I would say they were a big influence on even what I was into in high school, probably.
So you were part of a troupe, actually. A
Yeah.
group of people, the Weisenheimers, I believe they were called. And
Yep.
that goes all the way back to high school, yeah?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys did paid gigs in high school.
Yeah.
Was it kind of terrifying getting outside of that group and becoming an individual as opposed to having other people to rely on?
It wasn't, well, aside from just, I've never done this really before. No, because in the Weisenheimers was an improv group, but it was more like a band too, because there were four of us. We grew up together as teenagers. from the time we were like 17 to the time we were in our mid to late 30s, you know, we were touring around and doing colleges and clubs and tons of corporates and stuff. And so it was really more like 4 individuals all had their breathing space in that group. And it was, so it wasn't hard in that sense because it wasn't like you didn't know who you were outside of it.
Okay.
It was, I think the hard part about it was like just more logistically, like, oh, instead of being a band or an improv group or a team for 45 to 60 minutes, it's just I have to figure out if I can carry 45 to 60 minutes on my own now. But it wasn't really like, who am I now? I don't
So
think.
the thing that I'll bring up kids in the hall, right? 4 guys,
Yeah.
you know, and there's always who's your favorite kid in the hall. You know, did you guys ever have that kind of competition where you were trying to be the favorite of the base?
Weirdly, no, because each one of us brought such a different sensibility into the group. And that was what was really special about that group to me was um, there were 4 distinct people in it. I was kind of my role was kind of like the ultra positive, like affable, complete goofball, you know, like, oh, that dude's very congenial, but also real wild. And then Monty was this curmudgeonly, beyond his years kind of skeptic, who was like real good at voices and stuff. And then Marv was a very sardonic, very satirical, biting, kind of dry, wry humor. He was more in the vein of like a David Sedaris almost, you know, that kind of a thing. And then Jen Smedley, who, not my wife, another Jen, she was kind of like she did like characters, funny characters, and like really smart. And by virtue of the fact that she was the only girl in the group, she kind of had this own space all to herself for that perspective. So there was never really like a lot of competing for audience love. I guess it was everybody had their notes to play, so to speak.
Speaking of notes to play, here I have a lovely Keith Urban, Frederick Julius, Frederick Julius album.
Keith Urban, dude.
He's a single now.
Man.
No, let's talk about music and where that came in.
Okay.
You said this is number 7, or
Yeah.
I know you're working on something, and I'll tell you, this is the one I have. The other one is in my car.
Okay.
Mixers and Elixirs is my favorite,
Yeah.
and for obvious reasons.
Sure.
I wasn't on it, but I have been on stage with you performing it a number of times, and I get to sing all the fun parts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What got you? I mean, you obviously love serious music. Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys, we have that in common as our favorite artists of all time. Am I correct there?
You
Yeah.
didn't ask me
Which is
what my
another
favorite
cool thing.
artist
Go ahead,
is.
Frankie.
I love Pink.
He just
I do.
he just wants to mention Pink every episode.
I
That's
love Pink.
that's cool. So we got
Great.
2 Brian Wilsons and a Pink. All right. So, I don't want to fuck Brian Wilson. To be fair, I love his music.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you had to go there.
Well, that's part of your thing, right?
Not really. Most of
Frankie.
it.
Your emotional dishonesty
part of
is
it.
showing.
It's part of it.
Okay, it's part of it. I'm not saying it's the thing. All right. Yeah. When did you're like comedy, and now all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, just tell me how you reconciled that, if you will, and then what got you started, and obviously 7 albums later, and then what are you working on?
Okay, there's 2 answers. The first and shorter answer is it was like a moment like we discussed right up front with the whole creativity thing. You just get to a point where it's like, I'm tired of asking all these questions. I think the first Frederick Julius thing I put out was in 2014. And I was, by that point, I was 39. I think I hadn't turned 40 yet, but I had all this music that I had written and never put out into the world. The process was always governed by, yeah, but you know, nobody's going to listen to this type of music from somebody your age. I mean, every excuse you can make to not do a thing. And, once again, Jen was kind of a person who broke through that. My wife, Jen, was like, she's really good at kind of scaling things back and dialing down the chatter. And she said, what if it was just a sketchbook of songs? They don't have to be, because at the time I was like, I don't have money to get a producer. I don't have money for proper sessions, blah, 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 blah. I can't play this stuff myself. These are all always going to be just half-baked demos. And she was like, what's wrong with half-baked demos? That's where you are right now. What if it was just a little sketchbook of these intimate songs? She was like, besides, the cool thing about them is it's not like they don't have melodies. You still have gone to the trouble to record all these harmonies or whatever. Just put it out.
Teasers, basically.
Yeah. And so that's how Frederick Julius got started, was finally just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm tired of wrestling with this. And so that's answer one. Answer two just goes back to when I was a kid, before I ever had aspirations to do comedy as a thing. My whole thing was like, I want to make records. I want to figure out how to make records out of these songs that me and my brother come up with. And so it was a process of like trying to figure out how to do that. That was like our passion. And the weird thing was, I somehow fell into doing the comedy thing, before the music could do anything. And so because that became kind of like how I was, like a job pretty early on, I always felt like, I got to pay attention to that. But the weird thing about the comedy was I always gravitated towards doing comedic music, and whatever it was. Yeah. I mean, my approach to comedy is like, put me in on funny songs, and let me make up these songs or whatever. So they've always kind of been intertwined, I guess. And 2014, and my brother and I were always doing projects together.
Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, shout out to Mike, baby. And so that's kind of how Frederick Julius came about. It always was there. It just took a long time to get loose enough to do it.
So I don't remember. I remember a conversation of us talking about fixers and elixirs. And I don't remember how it came about, but at one point you said, do you know anybody that would be able to play this? And I'm like, boy, do I. I'm like, why? But why are you asking me? That's I still, like, I don't understand how I lucked into being able to do this material with you.
I don't know that I had like an agenda as far as like, do you, but I know that, I had listened to Kill Bosby enough. And maybe, I don't know if it was like shortly after we kind of reconnected or in the back and forth before. But somehow you had shared with me some stuff you were working on too. That was, I mean, the Kill Bosby stuff would have been enough. Maybe there was a Nomad project or something that you had released too that I was listening.
The river.
But I think it may have just naturally emerged from the fact that I was like, well, this guy writes stuff with harmonies and really good melodies and hooks. So maybe it came from that of like, do you know anybody? The assumption was, he's probably not going to take the time to get involved himself, but he might like know some people
That's
who
so
would be
funny. That's
who
so
would be
funny
good for
because
this.
as he's asking me, I'm thinking, how do I sneak my foot in this door?
Well,
Knowing
Well,
that
when you said I'd be down for it, I was like, oh wow, great, that's awesome. Because the stuff I'd listened to that you guys had made, and that you had written, I'm like, oh yeah, he can sing harmony parts and handle the playing and singing and all that stuff. So
yeah. Anyway, guys, this is Lonely Boy.
I want an
Yeah.
autograph copy.
This one is a much more, I don't want to say grounded, but it's a very emotional,
yeah,
and I can tell it's more closely tied to the heart. And that's not to say that your other projects don't have heart, but this one really does cut a little bit deeper
yeah,
into Matt Geiler. But there's this, Fixers and Elixirs, and then there's apparently 5 before this. I think most of the stuff that you would want people to hear is going to be on Apple Music, iTunes,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Sweet.
It's Frederick Julius.
yeah.
I'm not even going to have him explain the name because it doesn't matter. Just Frederick Julius. Please check this out. Matt, I got one more thing that I would like to ask you about before we let you off the hook. Are you down?
I'm down.
And this is for Frankie.
Okay.
He's got to hear this story.
Oh my god.
He's got to hear this. He's got to hear your Michael Jordan. Maybe it's for me. Maybe it's for
Okay.
me. But
I like
Frankie,
telling
this
it,
is
so it's
great.
a good story.
All right, so to set it up,
Yeah.
Hanes signed
Right.
Michael Jordan as their spokesman for their underwear brand, for their men's underwear brand.
Yeah.
And at some point, they decided that they were going to make a gimmick out of having no tags.
Yeah,
Like your
tagless,
underwear,
baby.
socks have tags, your shirts
Best
have
ever.
tags. So, tagless. Now, take it away, Matt Geiler. How did you become involved with tagless Hanes underwear and Michael Jordan?
I became involved because my agent in LA at the time got a commercial audition and sent me in on it, and it was for Hanes Tagless, and so the task of the audition was to improvise your idea of what a talking tag would sound like on a t-shirt, especially if the tag was aware that it was being phased out or going to be ripped off the t-shirt or was not needed anymore or was obsolete. So it was one of these LA auditions that you don't think, especially after you've had hundreds and hundreds of them, where you're like, probably not going to get it. What the hell? So you're really loose. And I went in there, and for whatever reason, I just started improvising this lines of dialogue as this tag. And they booked me for the job.
Sweet.
And at the time, we didn't know it was a Michael Jordan thing, though. They did not lead with that. They just were doing the character.
Yeah.
So once they hired you, they were like, okay, this is Michael Jordan. You're going to be working with him. And because of that, the production of this campaign had a level of secrecy and security and all kinds of ancillary stuff around it that I have never witnessed before or since on a commercial shoot. Okay. Wow. So I get hired to do it, and it's a voiceover thing. So I'm not assuming that I'm going to be on the set. I'm assuming my work's going to be alone in the studio. But for some reason, they were like, no, we want you on set to kind of improvise in real time and like do the voice and do the lines because we think it'll be more organic that way. So I get to show up I think we shot 3 or 4 of these things. So I get to show up to all these. And they sit us down in the beginning in this theater in Santa Monica on the first day. And they're like, they have this guy who's associated with Jordan come out, and he's really stern. And he's like, for those of you who don't know, there are rules that have to be followed when Mr. Jordan is on set. I'm going to read them to you now so that we don't have any, trouble later on. Theater of 70 people, cast, crew, all these people is like dead silent. He's like, and they're literally a list, and they include things like, you may not make eye contact with Mr. Jordan once he is on set.
What?
You may not be within 10 feet of Mr. Jordan for any reason at any time unless he or one of his representatives invites you. I mean, it was a litany of this kind of stuff. Like,
Jeez.
basically, head
he
down, don't acknowledge, like, just, and whatever. So that protocol is in place. The first day, I think we were shooting in an office building, and the spot was, I'm singing a bunch of annoying 80s songs as this tag. And because of how they have this set up, every camera setup that they have, whether it's a close up on him or whether he's coming into frame, I'm standing by the camera in this dumb voice that I'm doing for hours on end.
That's awesome.
Singing like Material Girl or whatever. They're trying to suss through what potential tunes they might have this tag sing, which they didn't end up using anyway. But for literally like 4 hours, I'm like, doing this. The next day, we're shooting in a backyard in Hollywood of this house. Same kind of deal. Jordan comes up to me before we start shooting. He walks right over to me when he comes into the
Did you
backyard.
put your head down?
I did. I was like kind of like I was like this. He comes over to me. He's like, hey, man, you going to be singing anymore today? You going to be doing that singing thing? And I was like, no, actually, it's a whole different thing today. So no singing. And he was like, good, man, because I couldn't get that damn song out of my head when I went to bed last night.
Sweet.
I was
Sign
like,
here.
I apologize, Michael Jordan. I said that to him. I was like, I'm sorry, Michael Jordan. I did not mean to disrupt your sleep. He's like, no, man, it's all good. It's okay. But that was pretty annoying.
What a
I was
jerk.
like, totally get it. In the backyard, it was even weirder because he had his manager there with him. And like, if you needed to, even if you were crew, like if you needed to like drop a body mic on Michael Jordan so that you could get audio, you had to ask his manager if it was okay to put the microphone on him. Then she'd literally walk in this tiny yard, like 5 feet over to him and like whisper on him, Michael, they want to put a mic on you. Is it okay if they come over? And like, we can hear you. Like everybody can hear. Like we're all crammed into this tiny yard in Southern California. So it was this weird shoot like that. And at the end of that day, I don't know, he was amused or something by, oh, that's the other thing. He had security that was always moving, and like the president, like Michael is on the move or whatever, So it was phase
Service.
moving. Yeah, it was totally ridiculous. But then he also had a truck on set filled with Jordans, boxes of shoes in this semi truck that was pulled up in the neighborhood. And if he kind of dug you or like whatever, he as you left, and as I was leaving, he's like, hey, man, don't forget to pick yourself up a pair of shoes out of the truck.
I would have taken
And
10.
well, you couldn't because there was a guy whose sole job was to be at a table in the truck. And then you went into the truck and he was like, what size? And I was like, 14. And he was like, oh, okay. So I ended up, it was slim pickings, but then I got, I got a pair of Jordans at the end of the day, and got to shoot for a couple of days with the dude. It was a very surreal experience.
I still want a pair of the Jordan 6s from 1991, I think.
Yeah, that would have been good. Mine were less exciting than that. I
You
still
know the
have
ones
them.
I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Everyone knows the
I do
Jordan
not.
6s.
I do not.
Oh, they were
I
sick.
have no idea.
They were the best ones.
I love that story so much.
That's a good one. But what a jerk! You can't even say, "Can I put a mic on you?" You got to go through the channels. Like, what are you, the Pope?
I get the psychology behind it, but I also don't get why everybody just can't be chill with like we're in a yard of this house.
Yeah.
I know exactly what one, they were filming, the grill one, right?
Yeah, it was the grill.
Where they
and they
throw your
had
character on the grill.
Yeah, and they had 3 security people. They had one in the front of the house, and they had 2 people like on the fences, like up on these step ladders, like scoping to make sure what, like
no danger.
I don't know. I mean,
no, it's still stupid. I think sometimes they make their own problems by adding all that extra nonsense. Too many hands in the pot ruin the sauce.
Yeah,
my opinion. I just hope Pink doesn't have that kind of security around her.
Well, she'll need that kind of security if you ever get near.
No, because
snap, Frankles.
She'll love me. I would. Oh, never mind. Just I don't want to talk.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put this up here. This is in response to your most unpopular food opinion.
Oh God.
I don't like seafood.
Seafood.
Yeah.
And I'll just say this is the dumbest. This is the most unpopular opinion. That's just dumb.
What?
I do like some seafood.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that was Matt Geiler. Matt Geiler, you spent way more time than we deserve, for sure.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Of course.
Matt, I did have an opportunity to kind of look around a little bit. Did you talk about the 402 Arts Collective at all?
Oh, I didn't. That's a place that I do some teaching out of, just for people who are like interested in, voiceover or musical improv, any of that kind of stuff. I try to kind of connect with people and work with them that way. But yeah, they do lessons, but they also do like coaching situations too. So I try to get some of that work on my plate as well.
Because that's something like, for me, something I would be interested in, and to work with a professional like you, and for you to offer workshops, I guess you could call them, right? Workshops.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it right now going, this is pretty cool stuff. Like, I would love.
I like doing it just because when I was starting out, you're figuring this out as you're doing it, and you don't really have anybody to say, like, when you get into a studio in a commercial situation, here's how that's going to go down, so that you're prepared for anything like that. Just something that kind of prepares you ahead of time, so you're not learning on the fly.
Well, that's why I wanted you to bring it up, because I appreciate things like that. I have a couple friends of mine, one of which did the comedy course with me, where he does different workshops for different forms of comedy, different parts of the business, to prepare you if that's something you definitely want to do. And it's really, it can go one or two ways. Either this is a wake-up call, I'm making money to teach you how it really goes, or you're going to be like, that ain't for me. Because a lot of people don't realize the work that goes into even just doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Not just standing up there telling jokes. It's a skit. It's hard to do. When I took that class, it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
I still have my stand-up comedy Bible, so that's why I wanted.
Oh, by Judy Carter? Is that who you did it with?
No, I did it with. You might actually know him. He Stephen Kimbrough.
Oh, okay.
Goes by
I don't know him personally, but I know that name though.
Yeah, he's been in the comedy clubs from Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, all the way out to New York City, Comedy Chateau.
Nice.
And he works with Paul Vatto. Paul Vatto, ring a bell. He was on Mad TV and all that.
Yep.
So yeah, I got a lot of my comedy networking through those guys in particular. But I like workshops. I love learning. I love that you do this, because there are young people of my age, people that just really want to do something but have no direction. And that gives them the opportunity to get that direction. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for telling us about it.
Yeah, man. For
Matt
sure.
Geiler, what you have? You're still currently doing mixtape. When's the?
Yep.
So a lot of the people that are viewing this will be in Omaha and surrounding areas. So where and when is the next mixtape? And then what else? Anything that you want to talk about? What you're doing right now before you head out? That people
Next
can take a look at.
mixtape is every last Saturday of the month. So whatever, I think it is on the 31st this month is the last Saturday of January. 7:00. It's the back line downtown Omaha, which is kind of a nice little intimate improv comedy venue. Seats about 85 people. We usually get a really good crowd down there, and it's just a free-for-all musical improv set. And so that's coming up on the 31st of January. And other than that, man, I just finished an animated short that's like I don't know for certain, but I think it's probably going to be screening at the Omaha Film Festival. So look for that. It's a short called Bunny and Bear. It's about a neurotic bear who moves in with a world weary bunny, and then they navigate cohabitation problems together.
Sounds like me and my second wife.
Yeah, relationship stuff with the layer of animals.
Yeah, well, we were animals, so it helps.
But yeah, other than that, just working on some new Frederick Julius music and doing gigs and
For you.
doing the thing.
Yeah.
For you, man.
Have you gotten together with the guys recently?
I have not. I think it's been a while. It's been a while since we had because I think the last like live gig was maybe it might have been like a year ago for something at the Reverb, but it was opening for somebody. It was opening for Taylor Stein's band.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Swift.
Oh, because you may not know this, but Frankie has
Dislike.
a unwarranted dislike
Yeah.
for Taylor Swift.
wow.
You know what, Matt? I've learned in the last decade or so, and this is being serious, that I went so many years without going with my gut feeling and intuition on things and on people, and my gut just doesn't care for what she represents, and I don't know why. I can't pinpoint it. I don't think she's a bad human being. I just dislike her, just her overall persona, her appearance, the way she acts and behaves, and my gut tells me that she's not my kind of people. Pink, on the other hand, is my kind of people.
Totally valid.
I don't hate her. Just not my cup of tea.
No,
Not a
it's
Swiftie.
unwarranted dislike.
It's
is
not
what it is.
unwarranted. I'm allowed to not like her.
She literally stands for like the exact same things that Pink does. But I
Pink
digress.
does it in a
You're-
better way.
I want the remainder of this show after I leave for you guys to escalate it into like a digital brawl.
So you have seen the show.
Here's the thing. You know why Dames does this show with me? Because he knows that I'm 11 hours away from him.
Right.
He a
right,
keyboard warrior over here.
right.
So it can't come to fisticuffs.
Right.
Well, I could if he had the gonads to take a drive, but
I don't have any gonads.
Well, and that brings it to the closing of this slow circle of comedy when you welcomed me onto the show as somebody who loved to tickle your balls,
yeah.
which is kind of absurdist that you don't, in fact, have any. That's kind of
That's right.
that's
They
very
were tickled off.
yeah.
Smacked up.
Dude, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. Sorry about the car troubles today. I'm glad you were able
dude.
to work it out because I didn't want to be mad at you.
I'm glad too.
Matt, don't worry. I told him to shut his mouth and let life happen.
He did. He calmed me down a little bit. As I was like, "What are we
chill
gonna
out,
do?
buddy.
There's no show. What are we gonna do?
like-
We've made all these promises that 52 people care about. There are 52
Right.
people watching right now.
Hey,
Man.
Uh,
I'm just
good.
chill, lay back, let it happen. Man.
No,
let it come to you.
I want to say that we'll have you back at some point.
sure.
If you didn't hate
I'd
this,
love it.
because then we'd have all that stuff out of the way,
Yeah.
can
I'm
just
still
get-
talking about the Dancing Pumpkin Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
I will. Maybe around October 31st.
There you go.
Maybe.
We'll have
Maybe
a
There
we'll
you
show up.
go.
Maybe
We
we'll
did
just
have a
have
comment.
Jack,
Ask.
the Dancing Pumpkin Man, on the show
Just kidding.
Maybe I do it in costume.
to
That'd be
spread
sweet.
some mirth.
We did have a comment. Someone asking if you were going to do it live. So maybe next time
did.
you're on.
There it was.
Yep, there it was. And that's Dame's buddy and my friend.
There you go.
Matt, thank you so much. I will let you
for
go.
sure.
We're going to talk about this next segment. We're going to talk about history. So,
All right.
uh,
Thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure.
much love, my friend.
You too.
Thanks for being here, man. Nice meeting you, brother.
You too,
What
Frankie.
a guy. Matt Geiler, everybody. Again, mixtape in Omaha, Nebraska at the Backline Theater last Saturday of every month. Frederick Julius, check him out online. You can also probably buy these on Sick Picnic Media, maybe. There's a store, maybe.
Yep, I got the internet website right
But,
here. It's sickpicnicmedia.com. I'll put it up here for everybody to take
Just-
a peek at.
Seriously, one of the nicest people that you will ever hope to know.
There it is.
And Frankie, I think you probably could pick that up just based on the short conversation that we had with him.
Oh, for sure. I want to get my own. I want to go jam out. Would be the second Dancing Pumpkin Man with them.
I mean, yeah, it's
You know,
just
2.0.
some of the people that I've met. I mean, he's just one of the people that I've met that I can call him my bestie. He's a great dude.
Great guy, and I had a great time having him here, and he's welcome back anytime. He's a class act. He's got that creative mind. You can feel the creation coming off him, and he's got his hands in so many different magical pots right now, and I can't wait to see what he has coming out next. So
Yeah, and again,
damn good
just,
guest.
Just to close out the Matt Geiler segment, most of the things that we talked about, I'll try and find a couple of those Haynes commercials on YouTube. I'll put links for everything I can find in the YouTube description for the show on the YouTube channel. And Frankie, you can copy it from mine and move it over to yours so that it'll be there for yours as well.
Okay,
Does that sound cool?
sure.
So, all right, cool. Wow. Feel like I need a shower.
Seventh hour stretch over here.
All right. On this day, I got some good ones today, Frankie. Some
Hope
things
so.
that are thought provoking. I only pulled things that I thought were worth talking about. Have you ever been to a circus?
Of course.
It's like part of childhood, right?
Yeah.
Philip Astley stages the world's first modern circus in London. Do you know what year? Guess what year?
1922.
1768.
It's a long goddamn time ago.
I know. The first modern circus in London by Philip Astley.
Did they abuse elephants then too?
Probably. I met. I could go into what happened in the circus, but let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
No one needs any more information than that.
No.
All right. We're here in the United States. In 1788, Connecticut became the fifth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. You know what ratify means?
Yeah. Fix.
It means... No, it actually means to accept it.
Oh yeah. Ratification. Correct.
To accept it.
Exception. Yep. Okay.
So the fifth state to accept the U.S. Constitution, Connecticut, on January 9th, 1788. 1855. This one I want... Dude, I think you're going to like this, Frankie.
I hope so.
This is kind of a little bit macabre. The guiding star vanishes. Have you ever heard of a schooner called the Guiding Star?
No.
So
I
I'll tell you a
haven't.
little bit about it. There was 543 passengers on this ship, 62 crew members, and 481 passengers. It was a large British clipper ship that set sail from Liverpool on January 9th, 1855. And it was going to Melbourne, Australia, carrying, like I said, roughly 481 passengers along with the crew. Most of them are immigrants seeking a new life in Australia. After departing England, it was last sighted on February the 12th of 1855 in the South Atlantic Ocean. It vanished without a trace.
Ooh.
There was
Bermuda
no
Triangle
confirmed
style.
wreckage ever found, no survivors. Contemporary reports and later research suggest that the vessel likely encountered a massive ice field.
Titanic.
Just like Titanic. But again, no wreckage, no knowledge of what happened to that ship after
Well, there
February
wasn't any
the 12th.
technology or anything there either. So
Yeah, I mean,
it was all wood,
1855
probably.
we're talking about, but
Yeah, it was a long
just
time.
vanished from existence. That's
It
crazy.
happens.
I thought that was worth talking about.
Yeah,
543 souls
Good news.
vanished. Yeah, that's one of the biggest tragic maritime disasters and disappearance-wise,
Interesting.
for sure. 1861. I know you've heard of Fort Sumter in the Civil War.
Yes.
1861, January 9th, the Battle of Fort Sumter. Now, what this is interesting too, because this was like the defining start of the Civil War. The first shots were fired on January 9th, 1861. And here's what happened. There was a Union merchant ship called the Star of the West that was only bringing supplies to Fort Sumter. And it was attacked and shot by the South Carolina military just for trying to... And those were considered the first shots of the U.S. Civil War.
Jeez.
So, that's a big day in U.S. history.
Yeah, sure.
All right. You've got 1903. Frank Farrell and Bill Devery purchased the American League's Baltimore baseball team for $18,000.
That's a lot of money at that time.
It was. And you know what's even more significant about it? That team was moved from Baltimore to New York City and is now the New York Yankees, which are worth over $10 billion.
Figures.
So a lot of people don't know that the Yankees were originally in Baltimore, and that was 1903. So there you go.
Yep.
1959. You heard of a Western series called Rawhide?
Raw. Yeah. Rolling.
Rollin'.
Boy, my ass
Rawhide.
is swollen.
It premiered on
kettle.
CBS January 9th, 1959. You know who was on that show?
No.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
Starred
Yeah.
on that show.
That was a long time. Man, I remember that.
Yeah.
Watching reruns of that.
So that's nuts because think about it. It was almost 1960. He's still alive.
Yeah.
And we're like basically 35 years away from that being 100 years ago.
Yeah, he's still kicking, too.
He's
that
up
guy.
there, and he's amazing. I mean, he's an amazing talent. Going back to the sports world, 1967, the NFL franchise in New Orleans takes its name. January 9th, 67, the Saints are born.
The Aints.
The Aints.
They
The
were
New
born.
Orleans Saints.
The New Orleans. Sorry, any Saints fans. New Orleans Aints.
Yeah, you're not a playoff team this year or next year.
Or the year after.
Maybe
the year
probably
after that.
the year after
or
that.
the
Who
year
knows?
after that.
Things
No.
can change.
Nah, not there.
Especially when you have a top 5 draft pick.
Unless Drew Brees comes back. They're not winning shit.
Yeah, he might.
yeah,
Given
why
this
not?
new trend, he might come back.
Yeah, he'll come back at 54.
All right, 1984, January 9th, 1984 was released. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wait, the album? 1984?
Yeah,
Van
that's
Halen.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Van Halen, right?
On January 9th, the most legendary album from one of the most legendary American rock bands, 1984, came out in 1984.
Jump.
Might as well jump.
I
Go
love
ahead,
that
jump.
song. That song made me hyper and want to play baseball.
It's a great song. It's
Sure
a great
is.
song. But you
Good
mentioned
song
baseball.
for many different reasons.
You mentioned baseball. We already know that the Baltimore franchise for $18,000 went on to become the Yankees. But did you know that in 1991, on January 9th, a gentleman named Bart Giamatti, who is the father of actor Paul Giamatti, banned Pete Rose from baseball for life
Yeah, he's a piece of shit for doing it.
on this day
Yeah.
in 1991.
He should be ashamed of himself.
He's dead.
Well, he should be ashamed.
Well, and to I agree, but
Should be
to
ashamed.
expound upon that and the reason that Pete Rose is probably still banned was that he died almost directly after this ban, which made that his life legacy was to ban Pete Rose, which nobody wants to touch, right? Nobody wants to be like, well, that was the dying man's decree. I think that's a large reason why Pete Rose remained out of the Hall of Fame. Well, he's already passed on, so he will never have he'll never see his name in the Hall of Fame. But I do.
Well,
believe he will
considering
be
all the
there.
garbage going on now with sports gambling and all the scandals and everything else, that man should have been in the Hall of Fame years before that even happened. So for me, I think it's a tragedy. I think it's horrible, and the baseball gods ought to come down and change that because that's ridiculous.
4,256 hits, Frankie, and there's only 2 other people that have 4,000
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
in 150 years plus of
So
history.
he bet on his team to win. Who gives a shit?
Charlie Hustle. Charlie Hustle. Rest in
makes me
peace, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember the show Third Rock from the Sun?
I never really cared for that show, but I do remember it.
John Lithgow, Jane Curtin,
Yeah.
Kristen Jones, and who's the kid?
I don't know.
What's his name? Come on. He's got 3 names.
You're the one with the
Joseph
facts.
Gordon-Levitt.
Of course.
Yeah. That debuted January 9th, 1995.
That's a long time ago.
It is. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but
No, it doesn't. When you get older, things seem to go quicker.
NBC, WNBC.
WNBC. Pig vomit.
2000, the year 2000, Dan Marino played his last game
I got
in
T.O. above
professional
this fact.
football on January 9th, 2000. Guess who he beat?
The Bills.
Well, the Seahawks.
Oh, well.
20 to
Better,
17.
better
He
you
won.
than me.
He beat
Too
Seattle.
bad T.O. wasn't here for that. He's a huge Dan Marino fan.
Yeah. Maybe he is. I don't know. He was here earlier.
He had to go to work.
And then the last thing I've got, in the interest of keeping these short and as focused as possible, you guys also let us know what you think. If you hate this segment, that's cool. I don't care.
This is a call for action. If anybody out there wants to hear something that we haven't talked about or we talk
That's
about
right.
and you don't want to hear about, let us know. Drop a comment, send
That's
a DM,
right.
wherever you may be listening or viewing. Back to you, Dames.
2007. Steve Jobs. You heard that name before?
A couple times.
He was the CEO of Apple
Apple.
Computers.
Yep.
One of the driving forces behind technology. On January 9th, 2007,
He passed
he
away.
announced the very first iPhone.
iPhone 4 or iPhone.
The very first iPhone.
Yeah.
January 9th, 2007.
And he got that idea because he had the iPod. Apple iPod already made, and he decided to add the phone function to it.
And then we're coming in next year will be the 25-year or the 20-year anniversary of iPhone.
Of iPhone. So are they going to have iPhone 20?
It's going to be like 18, right?
Should be 20.
Well, maybe there's a couple years where they didn't have one.
That's stupid.
That is stupid. Idiot.
So stupid. 20th anniversary. Here's iPhone 18.
All right, Frankie.
We feeding the ducks?
I got some questions for you, buddy.
All right, go ahead. Ask me questions.
If you had 3 wishes, but you could not wish for more wishes, because everybody would,
Mhm.
and we're all annoyed when there's a show where they get 3 wishes and they don't even contemplate wishing for more wishes.
Yeah.
We're all like that. You would not. This is a lie. This is a farce. You don't have to give me 3 wishes, but I would like to know what the brain of Frankie, because quite honestly, you surprised me with your Back to the Future. You'd go to Woodstock?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
70s.
I did not have you pegged as a back to Woodstock.
Oh yeah.
Who do you want to see at Woodstock? Who's the biggest?
Oh, I would be there for the whole festival.
Hendrix?
All of it.
You realize
every single inch of it. Yeah, it was a big mud pit.
What would you do?
Joe Cocker's
if
the bomb.
I Attitude. It's one of the greatest live performances
Yes.
ever.
That's what I mean.
Ever.
Like Woodstock, I got chills. I watched the whole concert on, I think it was Netflix. You can watch it from beginning to end when they're setting it up and it's a big mess and
The
unorganized and people are walking. I love that shit, man.
The
I'd have been
Who.
there all day. Yeah,
The
everyone
weed
was
was
there.
probably bomb as shit.
Oh, the acid, everything would have been great. I would
you
have
would
been
have
a
done
mess.
acid?
Have I done acid? Yeah, it
No.
would have been a mess.
I said you would have done acid?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would have taken anything anyone gave me. I would have been a
Just-
huge mess, but it would have been awesome.
You know what? God bless you, Frankie J. So you surprised me with that. So I
Who else out
definitely
there
wanna
would go
dig
back
in-
to Woodstock?
dig into, and these are questions that I had for Matt that we didn't get there. We didn't
That's
get
okay.
to
We'll
with
have mine
him.
again.
But we still got a little bit of time left. So I'm like, what are your wishes? What 3 wishes?
Like for wishes in what way? Like wishes for what?
What? Don't act like you've never been
I've never been
privy
granted
to
any
anybody
wishes.
being granted wishes before. What would you wish for? A bigger dick? What? I mean, give me 3 wishes.
No, I'm okay there. What would I wish for? I don't know. I wish I was wealthy enough to say I'm wealthy and happy and content with money, but I don't need to be a billionaire.
Okay,
I
that's
wish-
one thing. Look,
I wish everybody could get along and have conversations and not fight and talk at each other. I wish people could all talk with each other. Don't have to agree on everything, but you don't have to be dicks to each other.
all right, you've already
and
blown
I-
through 2 wishes.
Yeah, and I wish I could get a clone of Pink.
A cologne or a
A,
clone?
cloned.
Why wouldn't you just say, I wish I could have pink?
Because I'm not gonna ever get her.
It's a
one of
wish.
It's a wish. Okay, fine. I want Pink. I wish I could have Pink.
I was like, why would you wish for a fake when you could wish
Way
for
to
the
be
real
realistic about it. If I could wish to get Pink, I wouldn't have to
one?
wish for
Well,
money.
you know what? I apologize, Frankie, that I don't have 3 wishes to grant for you. So we're just gonna have to go with there. It's not real. But what if it was? What would you pick? And you certainly wouldn't want to say a fake pink. What?
I didn't mean fake. I mean,
The real thing.
yes. I wish I
Okay.
could have Pink.
But that would pretty much remove you're wealthy enough to say you're wealthy, because
True, because she has money.
yeah. And then what was your other one? People,
everyone
and
can
you
just
guys
get
would never
along.
fight because you wished
No.
fighting away.
Well, you
So
don't
it's
have to fight
perfect.
to have a conversation. Disagree all you want, but you don't have to be dicks to each other. It's like boundaries, you know? I wish there was more boundaries.
That's perfect.
And then I wish they
Well-
would put a Pizza Hut in the town I live in.
In the interest of full disclosure, I just got a text message from Matt Geiler. It says, way too long. Don't ever ask me to do this again. Just kidding. He says, thanks for the awesome hang, my man, and please tell Frankie that I dig him to the maximum.
Sweet, see?
I'm not making it up.
I believe you. It's the Adidas
right
shirt,
there.
dude. I wore my
It's right there.
Adidas shirt today.
He digs you to
See?
the maximum.
I grow on people like a fungus.
I will respond to him when we're not live anymore, but he is
like-
he is a lovely, thoughtful human being.
Sweet.
All right, Frankie, I only have a couple more things. This is a good question for you, I think.
Okay. Ask
I don't
away.
want to bring up things that have hurt you in the past,
Oh,
and this
go on.
might touch on some of that, but I think it'll provoke a good answer. But I want you to know that you weren't the person I was thinking of when I devised this question.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Sure. Shoot.
Who, in a biopic of your life, would you cast to play your parents? Meaning, if you think back at your life, not in fiction, but as it really went, What actors would you choose to cast in those roles?
For my mom, Susan Sarandon.
Oh, I like that. Does she resemble Susan Sarandon in any way?
When she was younger, in her younger days, yeah, my mom was very pretty.
Okay. And I know that she was your best friend.
Yeah. For my father, who plays a good? I'm trying to think. Ray Liotta as a badass piece of shit, a monster.
Dude. See, and here's the thing, Frankie. I thought you were going to be like, well, that's a tough question. I need to... But you didn't pull any of that garbage.
No.
You got right to it. These are great answers, by the way. I don't know your parents, but...
Well, my mom was awesome, and my dad is still currently a piece of shit. So...
But, and Ray Liotta is awesome, to be fair to Ray Liotta. But
he plays a great piece of shit.
He could play a great piece of shit. You're
He's
right.
talented, yes.
You're right. Very good.
That's why I picked him, because he can look scary, too.
I do want to know, because I know Matt's mom, and I know Matt is not in good terms with his father, but I would love to have that answer from him, by the way.
Maybe he'd probably be a little more soft about it than me. I was like,
next time he's on the show.
Yeah.
No, he will very well let you know where he stands on that.
Good show today.
I got one more for you.
Okay, ask away.
We'll fuck off for the day.
Fine.
Do you follow or subscribe to any conspiracy theories?
No.
None?
Do I subscribe to? No, I would never pay to subscribe to a conspiracy.
I mean, do you believe in or follow? subscribe?
Not really. No. There's sometimes I think things are fishy. Things might be fishy, but I need full proof. And conspiracies never really provide the full proof. You never get the real story. So that's my answer to that.
Common conspiracy theories. Let's see where you're really at. Because I think that you lied just now.
I did not lie.
I don't think you lied on purpose, but I think that there's probably some things.
Would you buy some gadget?
Do you think JFK was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Do you believe that there may be an alternate explanation for it?
Considering I'm not a forensics expert or somebody that can recreate that exact moment in time and everything behind it, I really have no right to provide my opinion. I think that he was assassinated and it was tragic, and I think that's probably why you never see a convertible presidential car anymore.
I agree with that assessment, but I don't believe that we'll ever know what truly happened. But I don't believe
we do know what happened. He was assassinated.
Yeah, but I don't. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
I don't believe it went down the way that we're told that it went down.
Okay. I mean, there could be some cover-ups and some bullshit going on, but I wouldn't be able to sit here and give you any expertise.
All right. What about the moon landing?
That one, you're gonna have to get back to me on that because because
bastard.
I believe that we went to the moon, but then there's times where I'm like, physics in my brain takes over when I see certain things when they're pointed out in these like little reels and videos and stuff. But then again, I'm like, well, AI can make your mind go squirrely too. Hence why I took a social media, internet, phone day off because it was like starting to fry my brain. I mean, was the race to the moon at the time, right, between Russia and the U.S. So did we maybe fake it to say we got there to keep up with the Joneses? We very well could have, and I'm not just saying that didn't happen, but I also think that we could have gotten to the moon. I don't know, but then that
there's a deeper conspiracy theory within that conspiracy theory that Stanley Kubrick actually filmed the footage of the moon landing.
Yeah, I heard something about that. But what a lot of people don't understand is that there was 3 astronauts and only 2 of them got on the moon. There was one that was still orbiting in the main ship that was doing the camera work and all that stuff. So,
I think for something that big,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that would need to be involved. And
but we'll never know.
There's no way that secret gets kept for that long. So I believe we landed on the moon.
It'll come out soon. I mean, if it's a true conspiracy, eventually it will come out.
Well, I laughed at you because you're like, I need to get back to you on that. I'm like, it was 1969. There's nothing you're going to find in the next 2 days that you couldn't have found.
No, I just got to talk to T.O.
Uh,
Get his
9/11. Was that an
What about
inside job?
Oh, God, that's... No, I hope not.
Right, but this is why I bring it up, because it's a very...
I think it was definitely planes that hit the building. I don't believe for a second there was explosives in the building like people are starting to say. I think that those planes were big and heavy enough to ruin the integrity of those buildings as strong as they may have been. I'd hate to say, yeah, I think it was an inside job. I hope it wasn't. But if you want my opinion, no, I think it was definitely terrorism, and they found a way to destroy us for that moment in time. So, no, I don't really think that was too much of an inside job.
I think there's a lot of moving parts to this one. Does my brain move a little in the direction of inside job when people talk about how the building just collapses in on itself as it would if there was explosives involved? My brain does go that way a little bit. But you lose me when they start saying that there were no planes. And I'm like, motherfucker, I saw
There
them.
was freaking planes that flew into the buildings.
There were people standing on the ground with phones.
And cameras
that
watching the
caught-
plane hit the building.
Planes absolutely hit this building. Now, are they the reason that it ultimately faltered the way it did? That I can get behind questioning that all day long.
See, to me, there's all different theories on how that happened. Of course, you got people, oh, well, because I used constructs as a kid and I flew there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to debunk something. And I remember that morning like it was yesterday. I was home, I was off work, and my girlfriend called me and said, the Trade Center was just hit by a plane, and I turned the news on just as the second plane was hitting. I thought it was a replay of the first plane hitting. So I watched that TV from that very moment for like the next 72 hours straight and kept watching it over and over and over again. And I don't see anything in any of those replays that would indicate that was an implosion. I think those buildings were hit by a plane. They fell the way they fell based on the way they were constructed in boxes. They were constructed in levels. So they fell each level at a time. I believe that.
So you are probably more against conspiracy on this one.
I think so, yeah.
I think one of my favorite videos ever that I watched is when they imploded the Seattle Kingdom, and it looks pretty similar in a lot of respects. So my mind will be forever unsure of that until
I hope there's ever a point. Tonight.
But I don't carry it as a...
It's a tragic time in life. Let's put it that way.
For sure.
I mean, that day is forever embedded in my mind, and to people that had to live through that and be down there at Ground Zero. I mean, God, how horrifying, how crappy. If it was an inside job, what a shame that our own country would do that to its own country. So, anyways,
well, yeah,
all I got to say about that.
So, Area 51 and aliens, the remote U.S. Air Force base in Nevada, is widely believed to be to house a crashed alien spacecraft, and you actually see them portray this on the movie. What is it?
Area. Oh, are you talking the Will Smith movie?
Yeah. It's July 4th.
Independence
Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of this, dude.
I think that's all bullshit. It's just a secret part of Area 51. It's just that highly guarded area that nobody's going to get into.
You don't think they're working on advanced or suppressed technologies there?
I mean, they can be working on stuff, but I don't believe in aliens.
Oh, see, now we have to... Now I have to move the goalposts a little bit. Do you mind? Do you mind? Let me think about the expanse of outer space, Frankie.
What about it?
Think about it. How many stars there are out there that are just like the star that we call the sun? And we're talking like space is infinite. In all of that, you don't think there's one other star that has a solar system with planets that could potentially have life on them, and that this would be the only one in all of that space?
I don't know. I think we're the only ones.
In all of existence?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
I I want to know how your brain works, how your brain comes to that conclusion.
I will get you the contact information to my psychiatrist, and I'll let you have that discussion.
Look, I'm not saying that they're here. I'm not saying that they'll ever be able to make contact. I'm
Yeah.
saying that they're so far away that, I mean,
I'm not
and they
taking
may
a
even
walk
have
there.
less
So.
technology than we do.
I mean, could there be? Yeah, maybe, but I think there would have been some sort of sign or.
How though?
I don't know. I'm not there. It's not like they can throw a rock and say, "Let's see if this hits America."
Well, that's my point. Like,
So I don't know. We never will know. We just never will
well,
know.
I'm
We
not
know
gonna
what we
say that
know.
either. I'm not going to say that either.
Well, in my lifetime, I don't think we'll ever know. And it's safe to say that it's going to be a pretty big job to find out.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Frankie, you want to give your little spiel about what to do with the show and like it and share it and what?
Yeah. First and foremost, thanks to everybody out there watching on Twitter, YouTube, and X. Or I'm sorry, Facebook. Excuse me. Thanks for reviewing. If you could like and share the show out, we appreciate it. It does help us. We appreciate you all being here, and we look forward to being here 3 days a week for a few hours and having guests each and every time. So we appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to ask you some. No, I'm not ready to do that yet. We got 5 minutes.
That was a screw up, by the way.
Is Elvis still alive?
No.
You don't think he faked his death to get away from fame?
Nope.
What about, is Lady Gaga actually Avril Lavigne?
No. She's Lady Gaga.
Or not Avril Lavigne. What was her name? The other girl that looks like her.
No, she's Lady Gaga. I could pick her out of a lineup.
I think you told me this once, actually.
No, that wasn't me.
What's her name?
Alicia Moore is Pink.
No, I know the lady that died. That got really skinny.
Geez. There's been a bunch of them, so I don't know.
You're no help here. Let me-
Well, you're the one bringing this up. You should have it in front of you.
Well,
If you want to get technical. You can lean on me without that hard.
Amy Winehouse is who I'm talking about.
Okay. So what
A
about
lot of people think that that Lady Gaga is Amy Winehouse.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Have you ever heard of the Denver airport anomalies?
I have.
For those of you that haven't, theories suggesting that the architecture and the art at the Denver International Airport are evidence of an Illuminati meeting place.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
A secret new world order
It's a sweet airport.
headquarters. You're not down with that?
No, I just think it's a sweet ass looking airport.
Okay.
I don't believe in that.
Let's get a little risque in the last couple of minutes, if we will. COVID-19. The theories surrounding the pandemic include claims that the virus was a bioweapon, or a hoax, or a link to 5G technology. What are your thoughts on that?
I just think it was a flu that was just a little worse than any other flu out there, and I think it was turned into a pandemic for political reasons, but that's my opinion.
So do you think it was released on purpose?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
What are the political reasons that you could
Well,
foresee?
it just seemed to kind of sprout during the 2020 elections, because I remember the first known cases were in the middle of 2019, and then all of a sudden it was, COVID-19 for 3 years during the entire presidency. So I just think it was a political move. I think it was dirty. I hate getting into it because I don't really read a lot
Because you
into
sound
politics.
crazy? Is that why? you hate
No,
getting
I
into-
just think it was a flu, and everybody and the people that were able to, your lead doctors in the country and in the world, were able to convince people that it was this thing that you had to stay away from everybody and everything, and it turned into a big shit show. And they wanted to get their grip on society. They wanted to let society know that we have you under control no matter what. no matter what you may think, we can control you. And they did.
So I'm going to back up for a minute because I asked you specifically, do you follow any conspiracy theories? You said no.
That's my theory. It's not a conspiracy. That's what really happened.
That is a conspiracy because you can't prove that that's what happened.
Well, I can't prove it, but it just seemed like the timing was just right.
I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you at all.
Oh, I don't.
I
I'm
completely
not worried.
disagree with
I'm
you.
not even afraid of COVID.
But when you say it, I'm looking for like political. Who has the political? I mean, to gain what? We had a regime change here at home in the middle
Right.
of it.
Correct.
And I mean, you could say that the Democrats released it on Donald Trump because they knew he would fuck it up. He would fuck up the response, and that would lead to Biden being elected. But then you would have to know that Biden would have to deal with the repercussions of 20 or like 9% inflation, and that he would not be reelected because he couldn't do it.
He wasn't going to get reelected.
I just don't see. I don't see who had the advantage. Like who's releasing it?
I don't
for
know
political gain?
what the dirty secrets are to politics. I just thought that the whole thing was a sham. I have an autoimmune disorder. Never once did I get COVID. I was sicker than a dog most times, but it just seemed like the ones that got COVID were the ones that believed it, and it was just stupid. It was just, to me, it was a stupid time.
You realize that millions
segregated
of people
people.
died. Did millions
But
of
millions
people
of
die
people
just
die every
because
year
Hold
of
on,
the flu,
let me
man.
ask the question.
It's a flu.
Did millions of people die because it was suggested that they would die? Is that what you're saying?
I'm telling you that if you look at the numbers, they're pretty high each year of people that die just from your regular, ordinary flu, stomach virus. People die from the flu all the time.
I
But
understand that, but
they don't look at the numbers as closely as they did when it was COVID because it was the media that took over on it. You don't see anything about media now. Look how many people died this year from the flu alone. Well, from this past year, 2025. I'll bet you it's pretty high, but you didn't hear about it. Why? Because it wasn't COVID.
All right. I'm just going to give you this number. And keep in mind, I realize that a lot of death certificates did not reflect
Correct.
the certain things. I do get that. I don't think that was
a cover-up
conspiracy.
because if someone died in the ER, they tagged them right away as COVID. Easier to file.
Well, let's be honest here. If they had a heart attack while they had COVID, they were probably, listed as death from COVID.
Correct,
right?
and that's where it gets
But
dicey.
that's not necessarily the way it is. I will cop to. But you had 7 million people die between 19 and 36 million deaths. That is way more than just a regular old happenings.
Well, like I said, it just seemed, I don't know. You asked me, that's my opinion. I just think,
I just want to have a discussion with you.
I think it was just kind of a scam. I never fully bought into it. It was funny how they had to do mail-in ballots when you could go 6 feet in a restaurant. You could stand 6 feet away from each other at the post office, the store, but you couldn't stand 6 feet away from each other at a polling booth or a polling station.
I will say this.
That was bullshit.
Guys, I am liberal as
Nonsense.
fuck. I really am.
Nonsense.
But I was never a fan of telling people that they can't go anywhere. Like that to me is
That was what
the
was
shit
silly
that I
about it.
fight against. That's the shit that I fight against.
Yeah, I still went places. I didn't care. I went out.
well,
I
I'll
didn't
tell
wear a
you.
mask.
There was a concert. I went to see Eddie Vedder with my friend Bob in Chicago. You had to, if you went anywhere in any public building in Chicago, you had to provide your vax card stating that you had your vaccinations or they wouldn't let you in. And that was the entire city of Chicago.
Yeah.
And you had to wear masks pretty much at all until you were at your table. And like you just weren't going somewhere if you didn't abide by those rules. And I'm not a fan of that, but if you live in this country and you say private businesses have the right to let whoever, you have to, like, if that's what they want to do. I'm sure there were places in Chicago that are like, fuck that. We're not going to obey this city ordinance, and they would let people in. And and usually there's a political affiliation that went along with, which side.
I
was
just thought the
doing
whole
what.
thing was just timing was impact. I mean, the timing was just too on point.
And I would love to get. I'm sure we'll talk about it again at some point.
Yeah.
I'll give you
Another
time to accumulate your theories and thoughts.
I
But right
don't
now
have
we're
time.
into 3 hours.
Yeah, about time.
We
to
could
wrap it
probably
up.
do another 3 hours. But Guy, I love you. What a great show. Matt Geiler was a great guest.
For sure.
We're back Monday with Ben Shrewsbury.
Ben Shrewsbury.
And
I hate that.
you hate
I'm
what?
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, you hate... No, Ben. We'll see if he still hates football.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Matt Geiler, subscribe to him. Find him on all channels. Find Frankie J. Find Raw Live Studios. Find Block 22 Productions. Like it, share it, subscribe it, share it. Love it. Thank you, guys.
We'll see y'all next
See you on
time.
Monday.